everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I had to unmute my mic there for a sec. I had to unmute it on OBS. I don't have a button for that on this thing on my Stream Deck. I'm such a silly little guy. But hello, everyone. We are here again with another episode of Mythrill Monthly, season two, because we're fancy little guys. I am your host, Ace J, and then I'm here with my lovely co-host. Say hi, Al.
Hello.
Hello. And ooh boy. Oh boy, we have like 28 streams to recount for
That's a
October.
lot. That's more than 3.
That is more than 3. I will admit. Also, I need to talk about how silly I was last time we did this because I accidentally let the Spotify music. Or actually, no, I think I was using YouTube. Yeah, I let the music save to the VOD. I
Ah,
don't think anything got muted.
I don't think
Uh,
it did.
I couldn't see anything, but you know that's a thing on YouTube now. But this one, hopefully, won't have that same issue. So we're doing good. We're doing good. It means whoever gets to whatever VOD heads are watching this after the live stream get to go and put with their own music in the background. I guess I don't know. I don't know how entertaining we are listening to just our songs, but I mean I just chronically have music playing in the background. To be honest, that's just a me thing
Me
though.
too. No, me too, bestie.
It was so annoying when I didn't have Spotify, but I have it back now, so we're smiling. We're all happy Gilmore here. We're all happy Gilmore.
Woo!
Yippee! But despite this being the October recap, we are currently streaming this in December. So
Yeah.
I guess a little Merry Christmas to everyone watching live right now. Yes, that's how I promo. That's how I promo things. That's how I promo things, Elfon Fair. That's how I promo things.
No, you're so right for
Um,
that.
and I'm really trying not to sing the Ricky Montgomery song playing right now, but you know what? It's fine. A couple of things to go over before we get into all the lore, though. Um, First off, December, as we've previously mentioned, it is right now. Fuck continuity. But this is happening right as you're listening to it. This is December. Hi guys, it's December. Um, and so the server was supposed to have like an off month of lore, where it's like you can still do it, but nobody's got it. Just chill. We have like
It was
11 lore streams from this month, which
yeah.
definitely isn't as much as we've had previous months, but it's also
However,
like half as much, which I think is quite
yeah.
staggering. And I am guilty of this. Um,
I'm not.
you're not guilty of this, but we're gonna save that for the next recaps. No spoilers, Elle.
Stay safe
No
there. There's
spoilers,
no
Elle. um, but yeah, I wanted to do one. I had wanted to do one thing that spiraled into like 5 things. And then we had the lovely Mars, Katie, and Rose who did something yesterday, which is very, very cute. I enjoyed it quite immensely. As I enjoy them quite immensely.
It was so lovely.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for doing stuff. I know December's such a busy month, so it's just really sweet seeing people so excited to get their lore done that they're doing stuff in the Christmas season. It's very funny.
Yeah,
We're
right.
gonna just gloss over how we're not mentioning Christmas in lore. It definitely
What's
exists. It just
Christmas?
doesn't fit with the trying times that are happening.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like it was. I believe it was mentioned like last
it
year,
was mentioned
but
last year because you did stuff, and I think you and I might have mentioned Halloween this year. But
mm, but
um
it was never really
yeah.
specified.
Well that's partly because December last year Arc 1 had ended, so we had a few people
Mhm.
doing lore, mainly you. Um
Yeah, I think
but
it was
it
basically
was all
me.
like mini shit, and we also had a two
Yeah.
month time skip in between Arc 1 and 2, which ended up actually
Mhm.
aligning with real life quite well. So
Yeah.
I sort of just assumed that Christmas had happened and went, which is kind of sad to think about because that means my character spent Christmas all alone. Um,
Crazy that guy.
I mean,
That's
she probably had Karma. Actually, no, Karma wasn't in the demon
I wasn't
plane.
there.
Karma wasn't.
How
Oh,
come
she
was
was all alone. Oh no.
everybody they were,
Her
oh my
wife was
god.
gone. Her best friend was gone. Her demon was gone. Oh, I can't believe this. This is sad. This is so sad for my character. Oh dear. trying to think
Pretty
of
crazy
things.
setup.
Yeah, we're just gonna gloss over it this year and go into New Year and have a fun time with whatever happens.
Mm.
Some other things we have. Uh, Mythrill SMP pub.
It really is barking mad.
Hate my dog. Why is there someone ringing the fucking doorbell?
That's actually
Oh, my
illegal.
sister's here. Oh, can she leave? Anyway,
Sorry.
ignoring that little interruption and the yappy little pipsqueak. I don't know if that might just picked up that, but okay.
I heard it. So.
Great, thank you, household. Can you shut the fuck up? Anyway, going back to the music talk for just a moment. As people may be aware, we do have a Spotify playlist for the Mythrill SMP that kind of goes like all the characters have like free songs around that. And it's very, very cute. Had it for a bit. But we have two of them. We have two
Yeah.
of them. So Elle, if you want to share in chat, the first one, The Harbour of a Long History, which
Yep.
is the playlist with all of
No.
the current active members and
Yeah.
the free core NPCs. So that's Warren, Karma, and Laura. And then we have free songs at the start, which just represent the valley itself. Um, and then the people walking around in my house die. Us. Then we have the new playlist, which is Valley of Lost Souls, which is basically all of the like past members who left the server but still are relevant to the plot right now. NPCs such as like the NPC you're playing right now, Elle, called Brooke.
Yeah, I love her.
We love Brooke, as well as just yeah, members and NPCs. We got two other gods on there actually. We have Nezrin and then we had Lady Emias, because she's been
Yeah.
quite doing stuff in there. But yeah, now we have two playlists. They're in the Twitch chat right now. I will probably add them to a pinned comment on YouTube when we upload this. Someone remind me if I don't.
I will do it if not.
Or I'll put them in the description. We'll see which one works better. We're talking
Yeah.
about the Spotify playlist Maple because we have two now. Um,
You buy one, you get one free, guys.
yeah, but yeah, they're separated. So one is just a little bit easier, and yeah, it's just cute. And I
Yeah,
know
it's easier to keep track
you
of
can go
current
and put those
members.
in the public Discord. L if you have the
Maybe I should do.
lists with like the order of people as well, that
I
could be
do.
cute.
I
New
should do.
members. Not all of the new members have been added yet. I think that we have
I'm working through
Chris is
them.
on the Valley of the Lost Souls because Bestie's in Purgatory. Lovely Chris Chilzo. And then I think the only new members who we have on the Harbour of a Long Story is I know Lizzie's there. Is it Lizzie, Jam, and Maple?
Jam Maple. I think it's Claire. I don't think it's Lizzie.
No, I know the three at the end are Lizzie because I added those.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, Lizzie's on there now then.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have those members on there right now.
Yeah.
So we have four of them, but we haven't got the rest of them. You are on there. I think
Yeah.
this song playing right now is actually one of Maple's.
What song is it?
Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of Maple's. Or Sheba's, I should say.
Yeah.
But
In the list, it is done by character names for context of people.
yeah. We're gonna be getting everyone else in the new year because that's just a project that Elle likes to head. So once things clears up,
My favorite song.
that'll let it be going. That'll be going ahead and stuff. Yeah, we have a good time. I've got to stop saying "but yeah" in my sentences because that's kind of lame of me, isn't it? Anyway, I think we've done enough prelude, unfortunately, because we have so much to go through. And we should really get excited. So, yeah, just a reminder for everyone, all of the lore is written in the Mythrill Discord. You can do an exclamation mark Mythrill if you want to see all of that. I will put it in chat now. I added a bunch recently because I was trying to finish the October ones, which we're at right now. But yeah, without further ado, if you want to kick us off, Elle, with what are meant to mountains, that would be very lovely.
I shall. Okay. Oh, it's a long one. What isn't long? They're all long, let's be real.
I mean, it's not the longest we've had, to be fair, but go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's a good chunk. Okay. What are men to mountains? Growing more frustrated by the day, Claire decides to finally seek out the sanctuary's overseers. Despite answers that might leave her the magic-infested valley, heading to the office upon the floating islands, refusing to use the magic of the trees that assist in reaching the sky. Claire finds Jay and Artemis catching up, interrupting their conversation, having been discussing Artemis's concern towards Cersei. Claire politely demands answers to her questions about the Mythrill metal, what happened to the Valor, why they can't leave, which Jay happily answers after taking Claire's name.
I'm so sneaky.
Taking. It's my favourite thing you do, to be honest, half the time.
I don't know if it even matters now that well, I won't spoil it, but
Because I'll be like, I see what you did there.
yeah, continue.
Taking note of Jay's interest in useful people, speaking of the new residents coming to the sanctuary and how she hopes they might help in finding a way to stop Warren and escape the valley. Claire offers her assistance so long as it does not involve any magic nonsense, thinking Warren would overlook them, being a lowly human and all, and not truly believing them to be a god. Claire is harshly warned by Jay to be careful as Warren gives mercy to no one. Being a blacksmith, Claire had initially come to the valley to learn about Mythrill, something Jay understands as a scholar. Claire asks what the difference are between Netherite and Mythrill, deciding to stick to her Netherite tools after learning the magical properties of Mythrill. Avoiding Jay and Artemis's offers to get her samples of the metal, she does take the chance to example Jay's Mythrill pickaxe, however, being able to feel the magic coursing through it and its enhancing abilities. Before departing, Claire questioned who is truly in charge of the sanctuary, both Jay and Artemis pointing to Karma, as it was her who built the place. Pushing to know more, Claire asks what exactly Karma is. Being put off after learning she is a demon, though Jay assures her it's unlikely they'll run into each other. With knowledge shared and her offer of assistance, Claire leaves the office, overhearing Artemis comment about there being something off about her. Glaring towards Karma's temple, Claire muses over her distaste for Jay and everything involving Mythrill, decided to do one experiment with it before discarding it entirely. With Claire now gone, Jay and Artemis comment on her odd behaviour and demeanour, noting she seems to have had some poor experiences with magical creatures in the past. Having felt put off by her from the start, Jay can't help but giggle over stealing Claire's name, something Artemis had noticed during their talk. Moving back to their original discussion on Cersei, Artemis tells Jay of their brief history and how they were once friends, which Jay finds it interesting. Despite Artemis' soft spot, Jay states if Cersei falls too far out of line, she will be dealt with. As Jay leaves to visit Mars in the infirmary, Artemis returns to the harbour to pick up their strider Aragorn, decide to check out their old island whilst in the area. Artemis is shocked to see the place littered with crystals, just like the harbour. As the half-elf looks around, she discovers that it's not the only buildings that have been affected. The elven tree now stands dead, skulk crawls over the whole island. Crystals broke through the ground. My brain on that word is gone.
Huh?
Decimating. My brain just went for a minute on the word. The word decimating was just like, nah.
Oof.
Crystals broke through the ground, decimating the graveyard, and worst of all, the monument to her brother, Apollo, has been completely destroyed. Realizing his sword, the last thing she had to remember Apollo by, was also destroyed, Artemis breaks down in tears, lamenting over how gods were meant to be kind, but Warren only proves to be more and more of a monster. Artemis rushes to the portal to leave, grabbing the letters from her fiancé. Artemis runs away, unable to bear the pain of losing her brother once again.
Woo!
It's pretty crazy, that.
Trauma!
Yeah,
Trauma,
what a
trauma,
way to
trauma, trauma,
start.
trauma. We love a good little bit of trauma. But yeah, that is our first one. Next two actually are pretty short because they were just kind of um I don't know what the word for them would be. Little character ficklets, I guess.
Yeah,
Little tiny baby stings. I don't know.
little baby.
Um but yeah, I guess I will do the next one, which is speaking of the sun, a little continuation of the previous one. Well, from Artemis's point of view, at least. Um Also, Bo Burnham slaying it in the background right now.
I love that.
Oh god, I always find it funny. Oh god, I don't know what it is about Bo Burnham, but it makes me want to sing along. But no, we
No, I get
refuse.
that.
We refuse. We refuse right this second. Alrighty, let's go. Sitting at her desk within one of the elven ruins she discovered, Artemis sips her tea before noticing her particles, Chat, who had just caught up after she ran off. Apologizing to them and explaining her reasoning for running off, Artemis laments over everything that's happened since her banishment, walking around the newly decorated ruins. Taking a moment to speak with Humphrey, an old and hulking ent living in the ruins, and thinking about those she cares about in the valley. She worries that coming to the valley was a mistake, wonders if things would have been better without her involvement, but pushes those feelings aside. Artemis feels no regret for meeting the people within the valley, the people she now sees as family, only concerned that she will fall short in protecting them all. She wonders over the prophecy that caused the war between her people, which led to her banishment in the first place, and knows that she means more than an old oracle's vision. Going to the new statue she made to honor her beloved brother, Apollo, Artemis thinks back to their life together, noting that she would take his place in a heartbeat if possible. Watching the sunset from atop one of the building's roofs, Artemis tells the story of her life, quietly crying to her particles as the moon begins to rise.
I have no words for that. Because
Me,
I'm the one who did that,
you're
so.
the one who did that, and I'm the one who wrote it and had to make you sad.
Yeah.
I like making
It,
people sad. It's
it
cute.
breaks my heart every time, but I love it.
Aw, hey, you chose to kill him off. That wasn't my machination.
Yeah,
You chose this path, Elle. Now you lie
I
in it.
did. And I absolutely love this path. Who would have expected it? I would never.
Is that how you spell that?
Oh. Uh, I think so.
I forgot to do a space between the A and mutual, but I think that's correct.
Yeah, that's spelling's right.
All right, and mutual hatred, which is a Rose and Songly one. You can take this one. It's a nice little short one for you all.
Thank you. Mutual hatred. Needing some fresh air, Rose takes a walk around the sanctuary when he bumps into another unfamiliar person, which seems to be a common occurrence for him at this point. Questions if the stranger is all right. They share that they've have been traveling for many months and are completely exhausted, prompting Rose to take them on a quiet tour of the sanctuary and explains the current situation with Warren. It soon dawns on Rose that he never got the stranger's name. So the two introduce themselves, learning that the stranger is called Songler. Open up why they're in the valley. Songler's family has been uh, Songler's family having been hunted and killed by humans. Rose empathizes with them over the cruelty of humans, Finishing the tour, the two fairies head to the hotel so Sully can get some much needed rest. Rose gifted her a plushie before heading home for the day. What a little cute one.
A nice little cute one. We always need a nice little cute one. Calms before the storms, if you
For
will.
real, for real. It's crazy.
We do enjoy. We do enjoy. We do enjoy. I feel like we're both a little frazzled today. I'm just tired. This is what happens when we do so close to Christmas.
Yeah.
It's actually like it's not Boxing
We got
Day,
it
but it's
though.
like the day after Boxing Day. So
Yeah.
I'm still just an eepy little guy, but we're trying our best, and that's all that matters. Just like I'm trying my best to catch up with these. Uh,
And you're doing a wonderful job.
me not having done anything from November yet. Anyway. Ah. Not me typing in my own chat instead of addressing people. I'm just cute like that. But yeah, the next one is A Feather and a Flame, which is a me stream with the lovely Charlie Swarm, who I do believe I'm doing some lore with tomorrow, though I do need to double check with them that they're still available. Um, but yeah, we'll get into it. Ooh.
It's wild.
Deciding it's finally time to have a proper conversation with Karma, having talked when the demon chastised her. My brain breaking. I'm gonna restart that over. Deciding it's finally time to have a proper conversation with Karma, having talked when the demon chastised her for falling asleep in the infirmary, Jay wanders around the temple looking for the demonic princess. Surprised to find no sign of Karma, believing her to be working on more protection sigils within the Nether, Jay finds Swarm clearing out her room, wanting to know what the Phoenix is up to. Jay finds Swarm cleaning out her room, wanting to know what the Phoenix is up to. Sorry, I got interrupted.
It's okay. You got this.
Ugh, I'm getting very annoyed.
You're doing great.
Doing great, sweetie.
You
Um,
are.
Wanted to know what the Phoenix is up to. Jay enters their room and the two start to talk. Jay not having had the time recently, and Charlie having been held up in their room since arriving in the sanctuary. As it turns out, Charlie has been leaving their room more often recently, having found a new place to call home, which she is planning on moving to. Curious as to where her friend is talking about, Jay asks to see Charlie's new abode, growing stressed as she realizes she'll need to leave the sanctuary to go there. With some assurance from Charlie and one last look at the infirmary, the two fly out of the sanctuary to a nearby lava pool. Charlie explaining they'd go swimming here only for a strange magic tree to sprout after some seeds fell from their pocket. Jay marvels over the flaming tree as Charlie shows off their new home atop its branches, taking a particular interest in the strange flower seated at their bedside, one that resembles a torch. As the two talk, it becomes apparent that Charlie has blocked out everything that happened at Moonface Tower, their encounter with Allura, Panky's death, Warren's appearance, which Jay is very concerned over, though she doesn't attempt to remind the Phoenix of the dramatic events. Charlie shares the desire to open a museum, wanting to preserve the history of the valley and the people within it, hoping it will help anyone who loses their memory like they did. Hoping this will help Charlie with her own poor memory, Jay agrees to help, deciding to go look for some of the Phoenix's friends' old journals that still remain within the harbour at some point. As they look around Charlie's new nest, they share some of the weird things their roommate, Clive, the yellow sheep, has been saying recently. Used to Charlie's strange musing, Jay lets them talk, learning that the sheep had apparently been talking about some conspiracy to do with another sheep in the underground city. Revealing that the secret city beneath the harbour does in fact exist, Jay is puzzled how Charlie would have learned of it, but chalks it up to another oddity of her friend, returning to the sanctuary soon after. They speak of some of the interesting new inhabitants and the recent, almost memory like dreams Charlie has been having before parting ways. Charlie returning to pack their things whilst Jay enters the infirmary once more.
Oh my goodness.
Woo! A nice little
I love
thing.
Charlie.
I love Charlie Swarm. I miss
Me
Charlie
too.
Swarm.
I
Hopefully, me and
do.
Charlie Swarm will get to do stuff soon. I look forward to it. You want to take the next one, Elle, my beloved?
Yeah. Burning
Uh, let
cards.
me write it down. Write it down. Write it down.
Write that down. Write it down.
There we go.
Pretty crazy.
Go ahead.
Burning cards. Jay exits the infirmary, having just finished reading another book to the. How do you pronounce that? Comatized?
Comatose.
Is it? Comatose. I'm proud of that. I did decent though.
How do you get
Com-
tized from that? There's no I in the word.
it doesn't matter. My brain sees things. Okay.
Oh my god, your brain sees dead people.
I do. Yeah.
That makes so much
Comatose
sense. Anyway.
Mars. When she senses a present coming up behind her, turning around, Jay spots Cersei, who had been list- list-
Listlessly.
listlessly wandering around Artemis's tavern. Having heard of many of her escapades around the sanctuary, Jay takes opportunity to have a conversation with Cersei, where Cersei mocks the
Insinuation.
insinuation as soon as
Me
I
when
went to
I'm a
say
book
it.
and people can't read what I write.
No, I could read it. I just don't know. My brain just didn't go insinuation to start with.
It's okay, it's okay.
Um,
Let's
I
go
read
on.
on and then realised insinuation that she's been threatening people. If the resident of the sanctuary can't handle having a sword to their necks, how are they meant to survive? It's not a sentiment Jay appreciates. Bringing up what Artemis had told them of Cersei, Jay expressed an interest in her, causing Cersei to get defensive, especially after learning Artemis had neglected to bring them up till they reunited. As they converse, Jay manages to draw some information from Cersei, mainly to do with their species and past with Artemis. Noticing Cersei's distaste towards them, a feeling which the Fae mutually shares towards her, Jay asks why Cersei dislikes them so much. Not wanting to reveal more of her past, Cersei states she simply doesn't like being ordered around, dodging as Jay insults it.
No, it's insinuates, but the
Oh,
autocorrect didn't do it correctly.
hashtag autocorrect, I hate you. Insinuates it has something to do with her relationship with Artemis. As they move closer towards the tavern, Cersei comments on how much Artemis must value Jay, having gotten the chance to meet Apollo and obviously being close with a half-elf. Cersei attempts to warn Jay about Artemis's tendency to abandon people, but Jay dismisses her as she is already more than aware of the fact of having been left by Artemis once already, and fully prepared for them to leave if they escape the valley. Jay isn't a fan of Cersei's attitude towards Artemis, especially when she calls them a fucking coward, but somewhat empathise with their frustrations. Noticing. 1 minute. Sorry.
Take a drink, take a drink, take a drink.
My cough is murdering me recently.
Oh no. Everyone's getting sick. It's the curse of the month.
I don't think it's not sick. I've had it for like 6 months.
I think you're just always sick.
I think they've got a theory. It might be asthma at this point, but I'm like, please no.
Yeah,
I
that could
get
check out.
enough.
Continue.
Okay. Noticing Cersei's discontent around the coldness of the snow, Jay reluctantly shows her Charlie's home, as it is surrounded by a large lava pool. As they pass by the docks, Cersei spots the sniffer, and immediately softens, going to pet the strange creature and forgetting Jay's presence for a moment. Once warmed, the two return to the sanctuary where Cersei offers to make a magical binding deal with the Fae, offering her service in protecting the people of Sanctuary so long as Jay prioritizes Artemis. Finding Cersei's attitude towards Artemis interesting, speaking so harshly of the half-elf only to ask for their protection afterwards. Jay agrees to the deal before leaving Cersei upon a roof. It's pretty crazy that. Who would do such a
pretty
thing?
wild. Pretty wild that.
It is wild
Pretty
that.
wild that. And you know what? Prioritizing someone is quite a loose.
Whoa.
So, Bestie did her best. It's
For
fine, it's fine.
real.
What is the next one?
Putting down the roses, picking up the sword.
Oh, a long title. Why do I have to type long titles? Is this the flashback one? Or is
Da, da,
this
da, da.
the...
No, it was the flashback one.
It is a flashback one. Hey, look at me go.
Yeah.
Okay, so context for this one. This particular catch up, whilst like just slotted into the main order of things, actually takes place a couple months before Izzy entered the harbor, I believe, or
I
like the
believe
valley.
so.
Yeah, it was just a ficlet from their escapades trying to locate Fizuk before ending up in the valley and the barrier being put up, I believe. Um, I'm sure Izzy can
Mm.
correct me if that is wrong.
I
Um,
believe that's correct.
but I'll go through reading it and then we'll sort out any of that later. Teehee. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
I literally started off with the time frame. Me not reading my own
Oh, you
sentences.
do?
I do.
Oh, we're
Two
so cool.
months before Izzy entered Mythrill Valley and the barrier was put in place, the dual hybrid left. That's not correct. Actually, she's not a dual hybrid. Me writing things wrong. The fox hybrid uh, left her home within the Eastern Providence, searching the world for their beloved friend Fizuk, who had been missing for a long time. Having been on a quest for over a year, visiting countless towns, she follows a lead to some place new, hoping someone will know something about Fizuk. Izzy asks around the village, only to realize none of the inhabitants speak her language, making the trip pointless and causing her to lose what little hope she had left as she heads back to her camp. Izzy comes to the conclusion that if Fizok was truly alive, like she wanted to believe, she would have surely found something after a year of searching. However, every lead she's had has only led to a dead end, disheartening her more each time. After all this time, the days upon days she spent searching, Izzy finally begins to accept Fizok may be dead. Saddened beyond belief, she builds a small memorial for him and places a black rose before it, something he had gifted her long ago. As she goes to leave, Izzy regrets leaving the rose behind and decides to go back for it, only to be shocked by the sight of Fizuk standing before his own grave. Growing hysterical, Izzy goes to leave, turning around to find Fizuk to be gone once more. Paranoid beyond belief, Izzy continues walking, trying to wrap her head around what she just witnessed. As she arrives at the abandoned tent she planned to spend the night in, Izzy sees Fizuk once again, giving in to her emotions as she believes his ghost has come to haunt her. She blames herself for his death, for not being with him, thinking that her foxes would have been able to predict the cave in and save him, believing she should have acted sooner when he first disappeared, and hating that she was unable to find him after so much searching. As the ghost fades away, Izzy sits before the campfire, watching the sky grow darker as the night fully descends on the land. Mind clouded by loss and a heart tainted with grief, she feels more exhausted than ever before. As Izzy falls asleep before the flames, stars shining dimly above her, she knows nothing of what the future will bring, nothing of what the 2 months ahead will hold, or how her hopeless quest isn't as hopeless as she believes. Yet in this past moment, they mourn for the man who once meant everything to them.
Oh my god.
Flips my hair. Tee.
Me when I played that, man.
Me when you did. Me when you did. I think we have another fight like an
We
Izzy
do. It's a Pfizer.
next. It's the Mr. Man's time. It's the lost and found time.
I love going to the Lost and Found.
I was gonna say I used to be friends with someone whose mum worked for a school and would just like steal clothes from the lost and found to give to her kids.
Do you know what? Kind of best
I
though.
mean, hey, the uniforms were bloody expensive at that school, so it made
I
sense.
mean, what British school isn't expensive uniforms?
Honestly. But continue, Al.
Okay, Lost and Found. Roaming through the ruins of the harbour, Isaac searches the old library for any possible way to break Warner's hold. Finding nothing of use amongst the ruined shelf, he returns to his home, only to find his windows have been smashed. inciting a rant of how angry he is after being alone for so long, since no one come looking for him. It's then that Izzy arrives, having felt unsure about the sanctuary and wanting to apologise to Fizuk for how strong she came on when they first reunited. It's then that she thought he was a hallucination at first. Fizuk shows Izzy around his house, workshop, and guest house. They make conversation as they walk around, Izzy updating Fizuk on things happening within the sanctuary and let him know she delivered most of his messages, which he appreciates. She also tells Fizuk about some of the newer people in Sanctuary he hasn't met yet. The protection sigils that were given out to protect those living outside the Sanctuary from Warren, and how she was unable to find the young man Fizuk had wanted her to look for. Wanted to know more about the lands she's now trapped in, Fizuk takes Izzy to the temple and explains to her what he knows of the calamity, the last time the valley was destroyed 10,000 years ago. He talks of the deities, the connections between them, the valley, its people, and the obsidian sword he found hidden within the temple. Intrigued by the sword Fizuk carries around, Izzy wonders just how it ended up in the temple. Unsure why, but strongly believing it's not to be an artifact of Warren. With their exertion complete, they return to Fizuk's workshop, him sharing the new concept he's working on. As they look over the components, they speak of Izzy's hesitancy towards the people of the sanctuary, her not feeling fully comfortable there being there mainly due to her appearance and past treatment. Though she wishes to stay with Fizuk, she knows he would be very against the idea. Knowing how dangerous the harbour is and wanting to keep her safe, the night grows darker. Fizuk pushes Izzy to return to the safety of the sanctuary. Eventually, she agrees, but not before promising to visit him again soon. Oh, that's crazy.
That's cute. They're so cute. Look
wonder-
at them being cuties.
I wonder why he pushed her to go to the sanctuary.
Mm, mm, mm.
I wonder. I'd never know.
I wonder.
Was it me, guys? I didn't do anything.
Was that one? I don't think that was that one.
I think it might have been that one.
It wasn't in the notes though, Elle.
It might not. I don't know.
I think you're getting confused. It wasn't in the notes, Elle. I
There
would
is
have mentioned it.
I don't know.
Now, chat. Now the viewers are all confused. Elle Pond Fairy, look at what
They
you've
should
done.
be.
No,
They can
I
suffer.
wouldn't miss out on a detail like that, but it will. I think that's a. Yeah, it's not that one. Yeah, it's not that one.
It's so
I think
similar in my
that's.
brain.
Oh, I think that's a
next one?
November. I think that's a November stream, not an October.
I was sat
stream.
there taking. The thing is, I sit there and take photos. Everything blurs together.
That's fine. Hydrate yourself, Bessie. Hydrate yourself as I speak about my boy in a wake up call because I love my boy. He's a good little guy.
He's a little guy.
He's my favorite. Okay, here is a wake up call with me and Marsarcy. I love Marsarcy. Marsarcy, who made up pretty PNGtubers. Look at them, they're so lovely. Anyway, after many weeks of sleeping, time played by both dreams and memories, Mars awakens with the remnant of a song ringing within his head. Stumbling out of bed, still weak and confused, he looks out the window and questions why there's snow outside. Last he recalls, Warren had appeared before them at Celine's tower, now having no idea where he is or what happened. As he goes to grab something, he realizes he can use his once useless skeletal arm again, as well as noticing the strange blue flowers tangled between the bones. It's just as he begins to panic that Jay walks into the room, having just returned to the infirmary after speaking with Karma, who is immediately excited to see him awake. Startled by just how different she looks, eyes now purple, darkness creeping up her arms, her slightly longer hair, Mars backs away when she tries to hug him, neither sure of what to do. Jay suggests they go on a walk. so long as Mars feels up to it. Surprisingly, Mars realizes his previous fatigue is now nowhere to be found, feeling oddly rejuvenated now. Wonder why that is. Um, they head out to the
Crazy.
main room of the infirmary, Jay showing Mars his pets and talking about the sanctuary, obviously keeping the why they're all here under wraps. As they travel around the town, Mars quickly realizes Jay is hiding something from him, but is temporarily distracted by the tea, plushie, and new outfit Jay gives him. As they go to Katie and Rose's new place, Jay insinuates they've been within the sanctuary for a while, making Mars more suspicious, even more so as she speaks of the new residents invited to the sanctuary for safety. As Mars attempts to push Jay for answers, he is teleported to the islands above by the tree's magic, halting the conversation as Jay tries to continue the tour. Me and my evasive maneuvers.
I know.
Um,
Wow.
now
Wild.
frustrated, Mars confronts Jay about hiding things from him, her admitting she just didn't want to overwhelm or worry him so soon after he just woke up. Arguing that not knowing anything of what is going on is more stressful, Mars reassures Jay he's not angry but begs her to be honest with him, to stop avoiding the truth since they both know she's incapable of lying. Unsure of how to properly articulate everything that's happened, Jay decides it would be better to show Mars, taking him through the Never and to his old home. Stepping out of the portal, Mars is horrified by what he sees. Blood vines are growing everywhere, multiple areas are destroyed, the ground is covered in craters, and large blue crystals surround it all. At the center of it is one massive, towering crimson tree, seemingly having grown through his old home and torn the place apart. Asking what the last thing he remembers is, Jay proceeds to tell Mars what else happened at the tower, Warren's appearance, his intentions, how Karma saved them and brought them to the sanctuary, revealing to Mars at his prompting that he's been a coma for months now. It's this that makes Mars realize his soul is back, something that shouldn't be possible without killing him, and is surprised to learn that since he lost it, Jay had been desperately searching for a way to save him. She tells him of the strange rose she got from Charlie, avoiding speaking Celine's name for Mars's comfort, and how she quickly discovered its healing potential. It's at this that Jay begins to break down, admitting she didn't have time to learn the full extent of the flower's abilities, blindly giving it to him just for a chance of saving Mars's life. Confused, Mars asks why she's apologizing so profusely, only for Jay to reveal that he is now immortal. Having been so close to death for so long, accepting it as his fate, Mars struggles to wrap his mind around the concept of living forever. Overwhelmed, Mars goes to leave, only to stop as he sees Jay crying. They head back to the sanctuary soon after, Jay reminding him it's not safe in the harbour anymore, and head back to the Sky Island so Jay can show him his room within her new residence. Just as Jay is about to leave, wanting to give Mars some space, he tells her she did nothing wrong and pulls her into a hug at the doorway. As Jay heads to her own room, Mars waits for her to be out of earshot before he, too, starts crying, mind-plagued by more worries than the petals on his flower.
Man, I love those two
Man,
guys.
I love my brother. He's so great, guys. He's so great. Can we get some hearts from Marsarcy right now?
I
We
love
get some
them so
hearts for
much.
my favorite guy.
Oh,
Can we please?
I love both of them.
They're just cuties. They're just cutie little patooties, and we love them. We love them. Anyway, from that sadness, and I actually think whose song is playing right now? Who is Just a
What
Man?
is it? I think is that Bryce Isaac's song, I think?
I think it is. I do think it is.
I
Anyway,
think it's oh yeah, that's Bryce Isaac.
I
That's
see. I see.
I
Did
love
we
that
give
one.
him Taylor Swift?
I gave him Taylor Swift.
Okay, that's funny.
I'm so proud of the Taylor Swift.
Been playing during that. It's a sad moment. It's a sad moment. But now we have one slightly sillier, a mending of wings.
Oh yeah.
Slightly sillier considering what Puff thinks good wing care is.
Oh, it's not even.
Oh, go on, Al, go
Okay.
on.
Needing to check on the potion stock within the infirmary, Artemis heads over to the building. discovering an unfamiliar face as they enter. Introducing herself as Puff, the stranger says that Rose had recommended they speak with Artemis, as they needed help with their wings, having attempted to mend them herself to little success. Looking over Puff's moth wings, Artemis carefully removes the glue, staples, and wrench that she had gotten stuck in them during their attempts to fix their wings alone. After bandaging them up, Artemis tells Puff that her wings will need time to heal, and highly recommends that they come by for more appointments instead of looking for a solution themselves again, which Puff agrees with. Deciding to show Artemis where they've been residing just in case, Puff asks who's the best person in the sanctuary would talk with about wings. Artemis answering it would probably be Rose. They take a walk together, realizing they have a few things in common and sharing some information. Artemis even discovering Puff was born human. Puff inquires about karma and if Artemis trusts them. Being uneasy with powerful beings, which Artemis admits, she does not only trust the demon but views her as a friend. With a final promise to keep Puff's heritage a secret, the two part ways for the day. Artemis returns to her room within Karma's temple, worrying over Puff's wings, and curious over how they got their magical features, before getting some much needed rest. Meanwhile, Puff returns home, musing over what they think of Artemis, deciding they would be willing to fight for them if the situation came down to it. Their incredible distrusting of people with too much power, those who consider themselves deities or false gods, and decide to keep their guard up. Wow, that's wild.
A little bit of a puff time. A little bit of a puff time.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Finding staples, tape, and a
Yeah,
wrench in someone's wing.
that's probably, especially considering their moth wings.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works. That's concerning.
I don't question it.
We
I
don't
just
question
help.
it. We simply move on. We simply move on and hope that nothing bad happens. Nothing bad ever
Nothing bad
happens
will
on the
happen.
Mythrill SMP.
No, not to
Nothing bad
anybody, especially
ever
the
happens
person
on the
who's
Mythrill
helping heal those
SMP.
wings.
Nothing bad ever happens on the Mythrill SMP, and I'll prove that by reading A Rose by Any Other Name. Because yes, Shakespeare lives on in our hearts.
Yeah, Shakespeare guys.
Willie Shakes, my beloved.
Good old Willie.
Good old Willie Shakes. This is a me and a rose stream. We love a rose. We love a rose.
We do.
Having made a bit of a habit of sneaking around Karma's temple, Rose is caught creeping around by Jay, who finds his antics quite hilarious. Having not had the chance to properly speak since arriving in the sanctuary, the two fey creatures decide to spend some time together, much to Rose's delight. Having worried about Rose since their arrival to the sanctuary, Jay questions how they've been doing since getting his soul back. The two chatting about life in the sanctuary and the situation the valley is now in. Heading to Jay's office, she asks Rose about the new people within the valley, wanting to know who they've met. Rose talks about some of the people he's met, mainly Lid and Puff, and shares that he's been giving tours to people as a way to help out. They agree that many of the new people seem interesting, if not a bit concerning, such as Cersei. Jay is worried hearing she's threatened yet another person, despite Artemis saying she'd agreed to help protect people, though Rose is more understanding considering Cersei is from the Nether. As they talk some more about the events at Moonface Tower, Jay musing about how Allura came into possession of Rose's wings, learning that he has a very foggy memory of his life before coming to the valley and meeting Artemis. This prompts Jay to begin theorizing, though she only has Rose's lack of memories and species to really go off of, even questioning if Rose remembers what caused his distrust of humans in the first place. Realizing he doesn't remember, only that something terrible happened, Jay lets the topic drop. However, she does let Rose know Mars is awake and staying in Karma's temple with her. Before going their separate ways for the day, Jay compliments Rose's new outfit, leading them to gush over their mutual love of sewing for a few minutes. Afterwards, Rose returns to rest in his room above Katie's shop, wondering if Mars is really awake like Jay claimed. As Avila falls to sleep, Jay returns to her room to think. She needs to figure out how to save everyone, needs to find a solution and break out of the valley. With Mars now awake and fully aware of the situation, Jay feels she can no longer make excuses to remain in the sanctuary. Then nothing will get done if all she does is worry about the one safe haven in the entire valley. Cursing the universe, she decides to do some investigations in the rest of the valley, starting with a certain Hun-Ho's Cherry Island. My favourite little Hun-Ho, we stan.
That's great. I love that Hun-Ho.
I need more Jay and Rose content. I love them.
Me too.
I can't think of
my
anything we could do right now, but I need them to hug.
My favorite thing is their first interaction properly was the tower.
Yeah, that was their first time seeing each other ever.
Yeah, they
was at
they
the
heard
end of
about
Arc 2.
them.
They knew they had heard so much about each other, but they did not know each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
anyway, speaking of Cersei, I think this is a Cersei solo. Are you good with this, Al?
Yeah, I can do.
Thank you.
A lonely flame. Having spent the last few nights in the Sanctuary's hotel, Cersei awakens to the uncomfortable feeling of claustrophobia. Unable to breathe in the tiny room, well aware that everyone within the Sanctuary is either scared of her or dislikes her, she decides to leave and build a home of her own away from them all. Feeling unwelcome and musing on how she wasn't prepared to meet Artemis again, reminiscing about when they taught her to read and write and worrying about ruining the life Artemis has built for herself here. Realizing that she forgot to take a sigil with her when she left, Cersei decides that if Warren gets to her before anything else, it might be the best outcome for her. She decides to go back and grab one should she ever feel truly endangered. As she travels feeling more alone than ever, Cersei decides she needs to pull herself together. She isn't a child anymore. She wonders if she ever truly was, and wonders why the never is so cursed and torturous. In the end, it doesn't matter. She is a sword, and swords are not meant to feel. They are meant to fight till they break. Eventually coming across an island, Cersei decides to settle there, loving the flowers littered around the place, and the cute little pig settled amongst them. Feeling less alone with her piggy companion, one of the few familiar creatures to them in the overworld, she names it Pan, and sets about building a new home as she tells him stories of the Never. Once complete, she falls asleep hugging Pan close. What a little guy. That little pig. What a little guy. What could go wrong? But yeah. I think a lot of people's are angst, but they're all really nice and wholesome. That was really not too long of writing either. But the next one is a good chunk. But it's a good one. It's a really nice one. It has one of the coolest people ever. But for the moment, remember to hydrate, guys, because water is key. So, let me hydrate. Continue. The next one is called a Cherry Island Hun-Ho. Sorry, like I said, my throat's butchering. Frazzled by the sudden halt of Shroom's island, leading Shroom to be trapped within the valley in the first place, Lizzie laments over Shroom's situation. According to Shroom, the Hun-Hun aren't meant to mix with humans, blaming Shroom's self for getting stuck among them to begin with. Despite the situation, Lizzie isn't just referring to the valley, but the overworld itself. Growing irritated over the constant noise of its protection sigil, Lizzie decides to break it, to ease Shroom's growing headache. Meanwhile, Artemis decides to pay the Hun-Ho a visit. Dropping off a letter for Jay as she goes. As they land upon the Cherry Island, Lizzie immediately catches sight of the half-elf, greeting them as a monster suddenly appears and lays waste to Shroom's farm. After Lizzie patches things up, complaining to Artemis about the sigil, they enter Shroom's home to talk. Knowing little about Hun-Her, Artemis is curious to learn more and get to know Shroom better. The two bonding over the scarce amount documentation on their races. Curious about the end, Lizzie asks if Artemis has any trinkets from the realm, leading to Artemis to admit she was banished and unable to bring much with her. Surprisingly, Lizzie relates to Artemis' situation, revealing Shroom was also banished from Shroom's home dimension, the Aether. Unsure about the realm Lizzie comes from, finding the name familiar from something Jay had once told her, but being unable to pinpoint why. Artemis sympathizes with the Hun-Her regardless. Having such similar origins, Lizzie can't help but compare them to twins, quickly regretting Shroom's choice word as Artemis reveals she did once have a twin. The past tense leaves a bitter taste in Lizzie's mouth. Confused by the concept of death, something the Hun-Her is completely unfamiliar with, leading Artemis to guess that Shroom's species is immortal. Being very familiar with the age's immortality, Artemis is confused by how Lizzie knows nothing about death. Explain the concept to Shroom as best they can. Fearful, Artemis assures Lizzie that as an immortal, Shroom would be very hard to kill, giving Shroom a few cookies for comfort. Even still, Warren's threat hangs above them heavier than ever. Heading outside for some much-needed air, Artemis and Lizzie talk about the floating island and the magic Shroom used to create it, citing that Shroom just threw a bunch of potions around till something happened. The white lie slips away without Artemis notice as they head to Lizzie's workshop. Showing Artemis around presents a perfect opportunity for Lizzie to advertise Shroom's business, bringing out a box of odd knickknacks and potions to sell. Eager to get on the road again despite Shroom's island refusing to move, Lizzie asks how long it will take for the barrier to be dealt with, something Artemis is unfortunately unable to answer. Admitting finding information to help them escape has been near impossible, Lizzie offers to do some snooping on Artemis's behalf. Though Artemis isn't sure that's the best idea, questioning if they had asked the god for help, Artemis reveals that Warren is a god and no others have been seen in a very long time, prompting the half-elf to admit her hopes that the other gods are kinder than him. Artemis shares with Lizzie the history of the Valley and how Warren is chasing perfection and believes destroying the world is the only solution. And Lizzie notes how cruel he sounds in comparison to the god Shroom knew. With the tenseness of the situation fully sinking in for the Hun-Her, Lizzie admits Shroom isn't much of a fighter and wouldn't be much help if it came to a battle. But Artemis reassures Shroom that it's alright. Lizzie asserts that people should be willing to help to protect their homes and the world, but Artemis understands not everyone is capable of doing that. Being a skilled warrior herself, Artemis intends to protect the valley to her last moments, but admits the most important thing right now is to hope. By working together, whether it be fighting, healing, or comforting each other, they will make it through this. They have to. They spend the rest of their time getting to know each other better, sharing their favourite foods, hobbies, and books. Lizzie admits Shroom's worry over the mention of pandas within the library books, how people would kill them for resources. But Artemis assures Shroom they would stab anyone who attempted to harm Shroom. They avoid speaking of family, Lizzie growing increasingly uncomfortable at Artemis's questions, and instead Lizzie admits Shroom doesn't have much waiting for Shroom outside the barrier. Before she returns to the sanctuary, Artemis tells Lizzie not to worry as Shroom has her now, taking flight back towards Karma's temple soon after. What a cute little one.
Woo! I'm back.
I
Hi.
love my little guy. I love the little guys. They're so
I
they're
love
so
that
little.
people keep interrupting me. I'm gonna strangle them all. Anyway, you did so well.
You're doing great.
Good job. We love a Lizzie Folksy stream. We love a
Me
Lizzie
too. I
Folksy
do. I
stream. They're
do.
so very cute. Shroom is so
I
very
love
cute.
them.
Ah, so the littlest guy, the littlest of
For
guys.
real. That's just like I don't know what death is. It's okay. You're my friend
It's
now.
okay. You'll learn soon.
Hey, well, guys.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway,
Me when I knew back then as
Artemis
well.
once again. Artemis adopts another. Well,
Hey guys. Well, I don't know if you know, but stuff happened since then.
I don't think Artemis and Lizzie's character have that sort of dynamic anyway. Because I think the only person you kind of had that dynamic with probably was Moon.
I don't even know how that happened. That's the
Yeah,
thing. I didn't even.
I think that's just because
I
Moon's character's like whole premise was mother issues.
I think it was when it was solidified. It was mainly when it was like the last stream between the two of them. Of
Yeah,
she
it
was like,
was.
I can't lose you like my mother. Like
And then Moon ran away.
that's, and then Moon left me, guys. I was
No,
abandoned
we
this
love Moon
time.
intensity. We love Moon
I
intensity
love
so much.
Mooney.
Um, have these appeared at this point? Definitely, like out of canon. You
Yeah,
have.
like I've adopted in the sense of I'm there for people.
Yeah, you're just
That's what
you're
I
just a
say.
cutie. You're just a cutie pie. Anyway, we have every rose has its thorns, and I'm not opening my board for any reason right now.
That's crazy.
My little guys, my little guys.
I love the little
It's a
guys.
Mars and Rose story, which kind of foreshadowed in my stream with Rose, me mentioning Mars. So we love that. We love that. Mars awakes in his new room, though immediately spiraling as he ponders his new immortality, wondering if there's any chance Jay could be wrong. The ridiculousness of his own lies force him out of bed, finding little comfort in the empty room around him, deciding some sun would be good for him. Stepping out of his room, Mars is greeted by a towering stack of barrels by his door, Toshi chirping happily atop them, whilst a note from Jay rests upon the lowest box. Mars failing in his attempts to gently shoo the bird back to Jay. Picking up the notes, Mars grows excited as he realizes the barrels contains decorations for his room. Yay! We love that. We love that.
We do.
Before Mars starts to decorate, however, he hears something from outside the hall, spotting Rose a moment later. The Vila, having been told Mars was now awake by Jay, and wanting to see for himself if the human was really alive. Quickly being caught by Mars forces the two into an awkward conversation, discussing Mars's illness, which Rose is incredibly unfamiliar with, the worst illness his kind ever facing being a cold. Having studied medicine for so long, Mars does his best to explain the complexity of chronic illnesses, drawing from his own personal experiences. Curious about his arm, Rose questions what actually happened for him to lose it, causing Mars to grow uncomfortable, but still offering to show Rose what caused it. Heading through the Nether towards Mars's old home, he's shocked to find Toshi perched on his shoulder as they arrive, tweeting cautiously in his ear and nuzzling against his cheek. As they walk around the destroyed area, Mars cautions Rose against touching the blood vines, explaining that they're capable of as they climb the ruins of his house. The Crimson Tree left the house in ruins, tearing at the walls of the library and revealing the blood-stained floor within. Mars enters the room as Rose lingers just outside, afraid to get too close to the tree and blood vines hanging around. Explain to him what happened there, telling Rose exactly how Celine took his arm. Shocked at what he learns, Rose questions if Mars was aware of the consequences of going against Celine, if he knew he would be punished for it. Mars admits he did, greatly throwing Rose off as Mars's actions directly go against his view of humans, believing them to be cruel and merciless. Humans are horrible. Mars is meant to be horrible, but his actions are so selfless. Rose had been so sure he was just a rotten human, especially after what he did to Katie, but now he's not so sure. Mars risked his life to help him and Katie, to warn others of what Celine was planning. Can he really be so bad after that? Mars argues that anyone can be evil. Celine wasn't human, and that species has little hold on a person's morals. The bad things he did had nothing to do with him being human. He was just a person making mistakes even magical creatures like Rose can make. Unable to find a rebuttal, Rose calms down, asking more about Mars's past life in the Northern settlement. Mars telling him about his father and how he travelled to Mythrill Valley. After a while, they head out of the ruins, starting to head towards the portal to return to the sanctuary. Walking down from the ruined house, they are shocked to spot someone in the distance, effortlessly floating above the water. It takes a moment for them to realize who the figure is, shaking them to their core as they fully comprehend who they are looking at. Warren. Frozen in fear, they watch as Warren effortlessly summons a crystal, watching as the spiking mass rises from the water. Breaking from his stupor, Mars pushes Rose back towards the portal, rushing to escape before they are noticed. Ensuring Rose makes it through first, they both enter the portal and run through the Nether, make it back to the sanctuary in one piece. Thoroughly shaken and panic still high, Mars decides they need to tell someone what they saw, wanting to tell Jay as soon as he gets home. Still needing to process things, they head to the tea house to calm down, realizing just how close they were to death, ignoring Mars's immortality in the situation. If Warren had seen them, had noticed them at all, they would be dead. Eventually, Mars leaves, allowing Rose some time alone to drink his tea. He assumes Jay is out, believing she would have checked on him by now if she was around, and sets about decorating his room with things she left, needing a distraction after the day's events. Toshi still cuddled closely against his shoulder.
Oh my goodness.
Toshi, my beloved, Toshi, my little guy.
My
I also
favourite
need
thing
to
about
show
Toshi.
people
This screenshot that we got after law when Elle was AFK in their room.
Oh my god. I was writing.
We were just watching you from the window.
Do you know what's even better? I was writing law stuff. Like that book's a law thing that I was doing like later at some point.
We were just watching you, and then those two started making out. But you know that's a normal
I
occurrence.
know. That's what they do that so much.
They're cutie pies. We love them. We love
They are.
them.
That's so wholesome.
Next one is this. This is
Familiar
a
moments.
jam solo
Jam
stream, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We do
It is
love
indeed.
Jamie
I love
Can
Jamie
Fly.
Can Fly.
I love Jamie Can Fly. Jamie
Me
Can Fly
too.
is so wonderful. Go ahead, Al.
Jamie can fly into my heart.
Jamie can
That's what
fly
they are.
into my arms and give me a hug.
Oh my god. Hee okay. Familiar moments. The twinkling melody of a music box flows through Jamie's mind. A memory of a snowy December's night brought to the front of their mind. The outside was so cold it frosted the windows, but the house was warm, keeping them safe from all the chill frost in the windows. Their father was away, leaving little Jamie and their mother alone. Except where was their mother? Why couldn't they see her? Why couldn't Jamie hear her? Where was their mother? Where was she? Startled awake, confused and disorientated from their dream, Jamie can't help but wonder why they couldn't hear their mother. They quickly begin to spiral into worry, a far cry from their usual cockiness, questioning if they can even remember her voice to begin with. Had it really been that long since they'd seen her? Since they had heard their mother? How are they even meant to find their mother if they can't recognize her face? Did it even matter? It's not like they could leave the valley anywhere. Jamie was stuck, with no way out, just like the rest of them. What was the point? Despite getting their mind off the dream, Jamie takes a walk to the sanctuary as they run to their particles, chat, focusing on their worry for their missing cat, Estella. Instead of the crushing weight of their dream, Jamie's mood is brightened as they approach their shop, spotting Estella outside, who rushes towards them for a cuddle. Relieved over finding their familiar, Jamie takes them home, explaining the nature of the familiars to their particles as they go. Once home, Jamie sits upon their porch, Estella curling by her side, wondering if their journey was worth it and feeling deeply homesick. They weren't meant to be gone this long. Jamie mused their father must be so worried. Jamie hates being trapped within the valley, unsure of the whole situation with Warren, and wondering if he's really all he's built up to be. More than anything, wanting to find out a way to communicate with those outside the barrier. Jamie wonders if it would be possible in the first place. With a little point in pondering over it all, though still wanting answers to their questions, Jamie heads inside their house once more. Exhausted from the day's events, even more so from the dreams still lingering at the edges of their thoughts, Jamie decides to allow their illusion to drop. The safety of their new home, once far colder than the one in their dreams, helps assures Jamie that everything is alright. Everything will be alright. Right?
I had fun with that one, if you couldn't tell.
I love that one so much.
I know how to write a character in pain. What can I say?
My brain, it scratches my brain.
It goes squish squish squish. It goes squish squish.
It does. I can't spell it, but it just scratched my brain real well. I'm like, yes.
We're just silly guys. We're just silly guys. We get another Lizzie one now. A me and Lizzie one. Is that a jam noises? Oh no. I love torturing my members. I love how like we have the stream and then the stream is sad. And then they give me the notes and I go, now how about I write this 10 times sadder?
Yeah, that's the best thing about it.
But yes, now we have Divinity of Cherries, which is really fucking long, so I'm gonna cry about it.
It is a long one. Good luck.
Anyway, anxious over leaving the sanctuary, Jay is more than aware how limiting it would be to remain there for much longer, deciding to test the waters, so to say, by paying the mysterious Hunho a visit. With one last reassurance that things will be fine in her absence, Jay ventures over to Lizzie's, hoping to learn more about Shroom and Shroom's unfamiliar species. Knocking upon the door, the Fae is soon greeted by Lizzie, having only recently awoken, and Shroom invites them inside to chat. Curious about how Lizzie made it to the valley and how confused Shroom was when Shroom first came to the sanctuary, Jay asks Lizzie to elaborate on Shroom's origins, learning that the Hunho was banished from Shroom's realm many years ago. Whilst travelling the overworld on Shroom's floating island, explaining to Jay the magic Shroom used to maneuver it in the first place, that it suddenly stopped moving one day. As Jay attempts to decipher the reasoning behind the magical malfunction, proposing that someone or something could be preventing the island's movements, musing that the only person with enough power to do so would be Warren. Jay tells Lizzie about Warren. What? Why is that word there? What?
Which word?
Why did I put exploited after that sentence? That makes no fucking sense.
Oh.
Why
I
that's
don't
there.
know.
I don't know who
Neither
did
do
that.
I.
I don't know who did that. Saboteur. Anyway, Jay tells Lizzie about Warren, how he created the valley to be a perfect utopia, destroying it all when the citizens revolted against his rule, sealing his failure behind the barrier, only for it to be uncovered 10,000 years later, trapping them once more and intending to destroy the world now, confirming that he isn't someone to be trifled with. The information lines up with what Artemis had told Lizzie, admitting to Jay that until Shroom's recent conversation with the half-elf, Shroom had no concept of death, making Jay all the more curious about the Hunho and their origins. Even more so given no books exist on them, nor do any of the immortal creatures within the valley know anything about the species. It could have been exploits. That is a thing that it could have been, but it got corrected to exploited.
Which it shouldn't have.
I mean, hey, autocorrect is weird. I'm pretty sure it's set to American grammar as well, so it's going to be even more confusing for us.
I change everyone's American spellings to British.
Same.
Every time.
Anyway,
No
Lizzie
Americans here.
Lizzie assumes the lack of information comes from the Hun Ho living in another world, aside from Shroom, citing that world as being called the Aether. Jay is left stunned by Lizzie's admission, stating how the Aether is the realm of the gods and how only they were able to access it, now having left the realm in thousands of years. Eager to learn more, Jay begins to question Lizzie more intently, wanting to know about the reason for Shroom's banishment, though the Hun Ho is unable to give an answer. It's strange, Jay muses, how a creature from the realm of the gods would get stuck within the only place in the entire overworld a god resides. Apologizing for all the questioning, Jay's scholarly nature having gotten the better of her, Lizzie assures the Fae that it's fine and that Shroom is an open book. Shroom shares that the Aether is a world of clouds and floating islands, each one belonging to a different god, and how the Hun Ho lived amongst them as the only other inhabitants of the world. Explaining that Warren had introduced himself as the second and superior incarnation of the god of creation, Jay's interested to see if Lizzie knows anything else about him, but there's nothing Shroom can recall, only knowing that the first god of creation was very different to him. Lizzie speaks of how kind the gods Shroom met were, how the Hun Ho held grand parties and festivals for each of them, confused as to how Warren could be so cruel. Jay can't help but question, if the other gods are so kind, why aren't they trying to stop Warren? Lizzie tries to reason that maybe they don't want to be involved, or simply are unable to intervene, something in the Aether they aren't aware of preventing them from helping. With theorizing getting them nowhere, Jay tells Lizzie about the temple, the place where Warren had first made himself known by attacking Karma. At the time, no one had realized who the attack came from. Nevertheless, Jay offers to take Lizzie there to investigate someday. Curious about the harbour, after hearing so much about it, Jay tells Lizzie how the Mythrill crystals decimated the area, sinking floating islands and shattering mountains. The Hun Ho can't imagine any other god doing such a thing. Knowing of the valley's past and having seen Warren's temperament firsthand, Jay believes he originally sealed the place away to prevent his failure from being seen, only for Jay and the other residents to uncover it. It was Allura, with the fragment of Warren's power she possessed, who tore down the barrier in the first place, wanting to claim the lost land for herself and cheat her way to godhood. As it turns out, Jay has always had an interest in the gods, having attempted to find one before only to fail. Apologizing once more, this time for speaking so much, Jay thanks Lizzie for Shroom's information. Aside from Karma's insight, Shroom has been the only person with useful information, something they desperately need in such a dire situation. They have no clue when Warren could strike, what he's planning, or even where he is, their only comfort being the safety of the sanctuary. Lizzie suggests Warren might have things to sort out before killing them all, but Jay is much more suspicious, especially after hearing Karma's suggestions. Warren could not be strong enough, or something could be stopping him from acting, but only a god could stop their own kind. With little other options, Lizzie offers to attempt to contact the Aether for answers, though Jay doesn't think it will work. This mention of the Aether, more specifically their treatment of Lizzie, prompts a more personal conversation. The two speak of their hobbies and other interests, Lizzie taking an interest in the darkness crawling up Jay's arms, even discussing some of the books within the Fae's library and some other old residents of the valley. Brought back to the topic of Warren, seeing as many of the new residents don't understand how dangerous he is, Lizzie offers to spread awareness more and share Shroom's knowledge of the gods with others. Even with Lizzie's help, however, Jay worries the more death will be on the horizon. After some more light-hearted conversation, Lizzie taking the opportunity to show off Shroom's wares to Jay over tea, the Fae decides to take her leave. With some final goodbyes, Lizzie once again offers to contact the Aether and wishes. The sentence makes sense. I just have to read ahead of it. With some final goodbyes, Lizzie once again offering to contact the Aether, and well wishes, Jay takes off back to the sanctuary. Getting back to Shroom's potion making, Lizzie mentally prepares to attempt to contact the Aether, something the Hun Ho is less than enthusiastic about given Shroom's past. Even still, Lizzie reasons if it helps the Valley's people, there's no reason Shroom shouldn't try. Meanwhile, Jay enters her office, pondering over her conversation with Lizzie and preparing to make notes on it all. bringing up the name Kronos and wondering if they might have tried to stop Warren in the past. Surprised of the amount of information she learned, Jay is determined to learn even more by investigating the valley, wanting to recover the adventurer's logs and look for, I should say the harbor. Jay's determined to learn even more by investigating the harbor, wanting to recover the adventurer's logs and look for any signs of Allura. Many people are still missing, many dangers lie within the harbor, but someone needs to take the risk. There is always something obscured, she muses, always one piece of the puzzle out of sight. It's frustrating. She wonders if Skye would have known anything, seeing as Warren is likely the cause of her disappearance. Growing more agitated over everything. Deciding to set out to the harbour soon, Jay realizes her best source of information is likely Fizok. However, the only person seems to be able to find him. However, only one person seems to be able to find him. Comforted by the sight of Mars's newly decorated room, thankful to having Toshi watching over him in her place, Jay gets to work writing her notes. I fumbled a
love
bit on
her.
that one.
You did great, but I love them. I love them so much.
They're so wonderful. My little guy is having a moment. She's having a long drawn out moment.
She's having a moment. A bit more than a single moment, but she's having a moment.
She's having a couple of moments.
She's having a few, maybe more than two.
Speaking of a couple of moments, we have a moment in time.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh.
There's not too called a moment in time, is there? No, it's a million moments and a moment in time.
Yeah,
this is the hard part about having a server that has been doing lore for like
law for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, lore for almost 2. Actually, lore is gonna be 3 years if we get to July next year.
July. Yeah, July.
Yeah, lore will be 3 years in
That's
July.
crazy.
So yeah. One of the hardest things is making stream titles that haven't been done before. So things don't get confusing.
Yeah, at this point, I know I've gone into like music a lot to help.
Yeah, but anyway, if you could do a moment in time, because I think is this you and Rose?
It's me. It's me and Simply.
It's gonna be May.
May. Yeah.
Go on then.
Oh, it's me and Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Having read the most recent letter from Loki, her fiancé, Artemis heads to the infirmary to check stock. Being aware of Mars moving into the temple and wanting to give him space, considering Allura had stolen her face when stealing his soul. Spotting Artemis as she travels through the sanctuary, Rose chases after them, eager to inform them about what he and Mars recently witnessed. Entering the infirmary, Artemis finally notices Rose, casually chatting to him and what she's been up to. Tentatively asking to find some privacy, the two head up into Artemis's office, Rose being cautious of others overhearing their conversation. With the door closed behind them, Rose recounts his and Mars's excursion to the harbour, including their sighting of Warren, floating upon the ocean. Shocked by the news, Artemis begins to question Rose, thankfully that he and Mars escaped without being caught. They speak about what happened and how they should warn others of Warren's sightings. Though Artemis worries it won't help convince people to be cautious. Few people believe in what the god is truly capable of. Thanking Rose for bringing them this information, Artemis desperately hopes Warren won't move further out from the harbour, mentioning how Jay has been searching for more knowledge with no luck. Wanting to calm Rose's nerves, Artemis gives him a frog plushie and takes the Vila to get some tea, reassuring him that with the towers and protection sigils they'll be safe. Warren can't get to them here. Curious, Rose questions what Artemis and Jay know about Warren, eventually leading Artemis to break down as she recounts what the god did to her island, reveal Apollo, Artemis' brother, was dead. 1 minute, hold up.
We're both fucking struggling. I've just realised this is like this is only halfway through right now.
Was dead to Rose, Warren having destroyed his gravesite, leading the Vila to comfort his friend best he can. They stay together for a while before parting ways for the day. Rose worrying over Artemis as he leaves her to tend to the infirmary, and the half-elf head into bed soon after. Oh,
Whew.
I know what it was. It was perfectly
There's
legible.
there's
My
like
brain just went, no.
28 streams for October, and we
Yeah.
have only done like, I think that's about halfway. I think that's around
I think
14
we're
of
halfway
them.
now.
So it's pretty justified that we're getting a little bit stir crazy. And we've also got to account for the fact that you have a cough and I have
Yeah.
dyslexia. So
Yeah.
one of my biggest struggles is just reading out loud, literally. People thought I was stupid in school because I didn't like reading out loud.
I don't like reading. Like, I don't mind reading out loud, but I'm just like, oh, what if I say something wrong?
I love to read. I'm a very good and not a quick reader, but I'm a good reader. But it is definitely difficult for my little brain. My brain doesn't like to do stuff. My brain doesn't like to think before it speaks, and reading is kind of the epitome
That's
of
a
that.
mood. Because I do the same. Like, I should read ahead, but I'm like, I need to read at the moment.
Exactly. Okay, but now we have like a moth to the flame, which is a Cersei and Izzy stream, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, having been spending her time around Mythrill Harbour, not believing she'll fit in with others, Izzy hesitantly returns to the sanctuary. As she passes by the Nether portal, Cersei spots Izzy and begins calling out to her, stopping the fox hybrid in their tracks. Both intrigued by their odd appearances, Izzy by the ghast hybrid's little flames, and Cersei by their antlers, the two enter a conversation speaking about the Nether and how different it is to the overworld. Having spent so long travelling the world, Izzy is well versed in using the stars for navigation, something she shares with Cersei as they talk. The ghast hybrid marvels at the stars, so different from what she's used to seeing within the Nether, admitting that most things within her realm are meant to be lethal. Much to Izzy's shock, Cersei shares that her father was killed by vines native to the realm, displaying just how violent a place it is to live. Now having a better understanding of why Cersei acts the way she does, Izzy gives her some advice on how things are handled in the overworld, mainly recommending she doesn't light things on fire or keep pointing her sword at others for no reason. Though she still doesn't quite understand, it's not like she said she would kill anyone. Cersei begrudgingly takes Izzy's advice. As they talk more, Cersei talks about some of the interesting people she's met in the sanctuary so far, the fox hybrid taking a particular interest in Artemis and Jay, and Izzy asks if she has any information on someone named Marsarcy.
Marsarcy.
Or Mars, but
I love that little guy.
but learning nothing. As the conversation goes on, Izzy heads to her woodshop to grab a few things, eager to get out of the sanctuary again and away from people, prompting Cersei to offer them a place near their island she settled on. At the mention of leaving the sanctuary, Cersei inquires about the supposed dangers outside of it, and Izzy tells her everything she knows, attempting to explain why people are hiding instead of fighting Warren. Izzy admits that Warren has someone she cares about, telling Cersei how she intends to fight against the god when the time comes, but that time isn't now. Before leaving once more, Izzy offers to return the gold Cersei had given her before, only to be urged to keep it, Cersei citing that it will be useful to her one day and going so far as to give the fox hybrid another, wanting to cheer them up. As they leave, Izzy gives Cersei an apple, shocking the ghast hybrid as giving gifts isn't common in the Nether without ulterior motives. Overwhelmed by Izzy's kindness, Cersei ushers them to go as the stars rise above the sanctuary.
Look at little guys. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh.
So the next one is to seek knowledge, which is very short, and then the one
Yeah.
after that is incredibly
Oh
long.
God. I'm just looking at it.
So, who wants to take the long one?
I can do it.
I mean, you
Since
know what?
if
No, it's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I mean, we can do. We
I'll
could
do it
tag
because
team
it's a big me thing, and that's why it's had written so much because it has me in it.
I know it does because I was there.
That's not me being what's the word? Self-important. That's me being a lot happened in that stream because it was multiple perspectives, and my perspective happened to have the most important information in it. Well,
Yeah.
at least in terms of ongoing crisis information.
Oh no, yeah, because I
And
was just
me
there.
monologuing. Hooray! But yeah, if
Real,
you want to
okay.
do to seek knowledge for me, that would be
Yeah.
delightful.
Alone in the library once again, Arthea searches for books to aid in her research into Mythrill, its history and how to obtain it. Discovering the metal's mysterious ability in creating items from the end within one of the books, Arthea can't help but wonder if there's a reason for the connection between Mythrill and the sealed dimension. With this in mind, Arthea gathers all the books which interest her before leaving the library. Finally home, the witch dedicates her time to crafting Mythrill and moulding it into some other forms. According to her research, as she works, Arthea contemplates her missing protection sigil, having lost it in an incident a few days prior. Despite being so close to the sanctuary, the witch begins to think of ways she could protect herself without the sigil, considering asking Claire for assistance in making a weapon. As Arthea works with Mythrill, she considers the possibility of replacing her current one with something infused with the metal itself, wondering how much more powerful it would make the weapons. With ideas and theories eating at her brain, Arthea works along into the night and reads every book she has on Mythrill, eager to learn all she can before the day ends.
We love some Afia content. We love it.
I
we
do.
love
She's so lovely. And good luck with
I
this
need a
one.
bit more of Afia in my life, I will say.
That's so best.
Okay, and then we have the big boy. The big boy. My goodness.
The big one.
The big boy hidden in crystal, which was fun to write. I think this one took me like the good part of a day. Anyway,
So,
deep in her quest for answers, Jade decides to head to the ruins of the harbour, wanting to find any remnants of Allura possible. Being the only person from the tower unaccounted for, and a dangerous person no less, the Fae wishes to learn of the shapeshifter's whereabouts, more than a little on edge after everything the shapeshifter had done to her friends. As she heads out of the sanctuary, Jade bumps into Artemis, sharing her plans with the half-elf and prompting them to join her expedition. Having recently heard from Rose that Warren was sighted in the harbour, Artemis had been searching for any more information available on the god within the sanctuary. Despite knowing Jade can take care of herself, Artemis can't bear the thought of allowing her to visit the harbour alone. Even still, they can't help but keep Warren's appearance to herself, seeing obvious signs of stress on the Fae's face already. Together, they head through the Never to the harbour, finding little remaining in the auction house and quickly heading to what's left of the casino. As they head to Allura's old office, Jay checks the secret passage while Artemis spots a book on the desk, hiding it from Jay as they leave the room. Being as perceptive as she is, Jay notices Artemis's attempt at sleight of hand, but decides to curb that conversation for later. Allura has always been a short subject for the half-elf, after all. Heading to the other side of the casino, both Jay and Artemis are shocked to see Melora hiding atop the bar. Being wary, especially as they know Melora had been supplying Allura during the auction, they begin to ask the mysterious woman questions as they search around more. It quickly becomes apparent that Melora had no loyalty to Allura, simply working with her and Panky as a business transaction and nothing more, which prompts Jay to invite her to the sanctuary. Not wanting Melora to be left within the harbour any longer, and promising her good business within the sanctuary, Jay asks Artemis to take her back through the Never while she keeps looking around. Reluctantly, Artemis agrees. They make small talk on their way back, Melora feeling uneasy travelling through the Never, and Artemis speaks about how much safer the sanctuary is than the harbour. Once through the portal, they take a tour around the town, even finding a place for Melora to set up her new business. As they inspect the boarded-up building, Melora shares her worries over people not wanting her in the sanctuary, especially after her involvement with Allura before. Understanding that more than anyone, Artemis assures Melora that just because she worked with someone bad, that doesn't make her bad too. With comforting words left hanging in the air, Artemis leaves Melora to get settled to a new shop, heading back to her room within Karma's temple to read the book she found. Opening the book, Artemis realizes it's Allura's diary, telling the story of the Puka's origins as the advisor to the Fae King of the Night Court. It becomes evident how similar their stories are. They both felt overshadowed by those around them, both wanting to prove themselves, both were searching for a place to belong. But Artemis didn't steal souls to make herself feel better. Whilst not given much information, Artemis can't help but think more about Allura's past and where she could be now. Meanwhile, Jay continues to investigate the harbour, searching through buildings and thinking to herself. She had been the one to rebuild the place, the one so adamant on recovering the valley's lost history at Karma's request, feeling guilty for how that seemingly innocent quest led to this. To the valley trapped behind a barrier once more, people going missing or being hurt by Warren. As her mind wanders, she finds herself in the pawn shop, searching through the chests for anything valuable left behind, surprised to find a book belonging to her wife within the rubble. Despite knowing Sky was alive, it was hard to feel comforted by the knowledge after not seeing her for so long. Another thing on Jay's list of reasons to hate the god of creation. With the overwhelming magic around her, Jay frantically opens Sky's book, learning more of her wife's worries and memory problems. How she'd fall asleep and wake up weeks later, how she always feels like she's being watched, and how she knows things she shouldn't know, how she's scared of what people would do to her if they knew. Sky's ramblings end with a decision to tell Jay what she had been going through, a decision that never amounted to much as she disappeared soon after. Confused and distressed, longing to be reunited with her wife, Jay wanders the rest of the harbour dazed. She thinks of the field, one filled with cornflowers, which Sky disappeared from, thinking of Isaac's claim of seeing her, how she can't trust what someone connected to Warren has to say. Not when Warren took her in the first place, but even still, what choice does she have? Isaac is her only lead, her only hope to fix everything, the only source of information she has. As she walks to the observatory, Jay looks to the stars and yells to the universe. She curses the world. She curses the night and the sky and the stars for making them soulmates, for making her come to the valley, for making her care. But most of all, Jay curses herself. For wanting a friend, for caring so much, for falling in love. 9,000 years alone had been too much, but at least she had been free. At least she could do as she wished without remorse or consequences. At least she didn't have to live with this ache in her heart. She sees her life and skies diverging before her eyes. If there's one thing she's learned is that people leave, no matter how close she thinks they are, and she worries it will be the same for them. Trying, and failing, to convince herself it's fine, Jay looks to the universe once more, promising to make Warren pay for everything he's done. Only fools fuck with the Fae, and she's prepared to do anything to make him realize his folly. She has people counting on her, people she needs to save and protect. She can't just stop and wait for the end. As she picks up the logbooks left around the observatory, just one of the many things on her to-do list, she does her best to calm herself down. At the very least, things have been peaceful during the trip. Almost suspiciously so. Reminiscing over when they found Stephen Savali's logbooks, she can't help but long for the simpler days where Karma's well-intentioned games were all they had to worry about. She muses about when things changed, when Warren showed up and things started going downhill, but the size doesn't matter. Regardless of her intervention, Warren would have eventually decided to destroy everything anyway, just like Karma said. What matters now is them, her friends, her family, everyone innocent within the valley. And she's going to save them. She's going to make up for her mistake, no matter what. No one should have to pay for her sins. No one but Jay herself. As she exits the observatory, Jay is shocked to see the crystals have moved out further from the harbour's outskirts, edging out towards Allura's tower, far past Mars's house, heading towards the sanctuary. As Jay flies, she remembers Artemis's mention they were around her island now, realizing Warren had been around the harbour. He's been out there recently. His magic mingles with her own, electrifying her uncomfortably as she rushes around, trying to assess how far the crystals go. It's this that makes the Fae realize how little time they have left, only comforted by the lack of sightings from her knowledge, and how far the crystals still are from the sanctuary. With no sign of Allura, no way to protect Mars from her, and proof that Warren is doing things has her more on edge. She's heard nothing more of Pfizer, nothing of Sky, nothing of Bean or Honey. Jay's stress rises to a fever pitch. She takes a breath, calms herself best she can, and sends off back to the sanctuary, ready to work even harder to save the valley and all its people.
I love her.
She's coping.
I need to give her a hug.
She's
but
coping.
I can't do that anymore.
She's not coping. She's really not.
She's not, and
She's really not. But you know what? We love her for it. Character jam song. Oh my god, is the character jam song is on? Or is that the last one that was playing? Oh, it was Witch. Yeah, Witch was.
Yeah.
Because we love our little guy. We love our little guy. But yeah, now it's your turn, Elle, because I need a fucking breather. Ugh.
Yeah. Ironically, it's a jam and Artemis.
Yeah. Wow. We love them.
Crazy.
We
Joe
love
does
them.
need a hug. I can't give Joe a hug anymore, canonically. Sad times.
Stop, Elle. It's not November recap. Yeah, actually, that's December.
That's not even November. That's December.
That's December recap. We might have to merge that one. Who knows? Who knows? It's okay.
Okay. Magical meetings. Waking up from their nap, Jamie quickly checks on their illusion as they do their morning stretches, making the decision to head to the sanctuary and work on their potion shop. Heading over with Estella, their cat familiar, Jamie's hopes of avoiding people are dashed as they spot Artemis and enter a pleasant conversation. Realising that they don't know each other very well, the two decide to find a place to settle down and chat. Jamie telling Artemis about their new home on the hill and decided to take the half-elf there. Sitting down to continue there, Jamie talks about their education at Mara Academy, the Witches' Academy, how they took a keen interest in potions and alchemy whilst there. In turn, Artemis shares her history as a warrior, Jamie noting not to get on the half-elf's bad side before the conversation moves on to Warren. Having many questions about the god after seeing the crystals in the harbour, Jamie can't help but be troubled by the situation as Artemis explains things the best of her ability, causing Jamie to admit how much they wish to reunite with their family outside of the valley. As Artemis explains she's more concerned with helping others than leaving the valley, Jamie becomes confused, only to learn that the brother Artemis previously mentioned had died many months ago. Jamie is stunned by this knowledge, but does their best to comfort Artemis, the half-elf promising them they'll find a way, that Jamie will see their family once more. Artemis even shares that they might have to have a leader to help in their quest to escape the valley, but refuses to share anything more with the witch. After some more light-hearted chit-chat, the two part ways for the day. Artemis heads back to her room in Karma's temple once more, musing over her conversation with Jamie, thinking about the witch's troubles. Now alone, Jamie heaves a sigh of relief, trailing up the stairs as they realise just how drained they feel. Even though they've barely done anything since waking up, preparing to take a quick nap to regain their energy, Jamie worries over how much longer they'll be able to keep up their illusion.
We love that little guy. We love that little guy
I
and
love
their
that
little
little guy.
illusions.
There's a little stuff going on there.
Also, Jam likes magic because we go from magical meetings to magical.
Joe, you're cutting off for me. I could not hear you.
Oh well, sucks a suck. Discord. Anyway.
Well, the treatment I got.
It's okay, Elle. You know I love you, really.
I know.
That's kind of sus. Yeah, imagine the witch liking magic. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. That's kind of
wild.
Weird. That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. What's wild is I was taking screenshots during the next stream. So I'm sneaky. Anyway, this is a character jam and Lizzie stream. Also, I should have mentioned beforehand. I feel like I waited to mention it just so people don't get confused. Lizzie uses shroom pronouns, which is why that shows up. So I'm saying it here because I forgot to say it earlier. Yippee. Ba-da-ba-da-bow. Also me crying over Build Me a Buttercup playing. Anyway.
No.
You had to
Having
mention it.
Of course. Having recently set up Shroom's trinket shop, Lizzie is disappointed by the lack of business so far, it being a rather slow day within the sanctuary. As the Hun-Ho admires Shroom's hard work, having painted the entire building a hot pink to make it seem more approachable, Jamie comes over to investigate. Having come to the sanctuary to work on their own shop, Jamie can't help but let their curiosity get the best of them as they walk through the pink shop stores, recognizing Lizzie from their first day within the sanctuary. The two start up a pleasant conversation about Lizzie's new store and what it sells, Jamie sharing about their own potion shop in turn, and speaking about how they've both been finding the sanctuary. Curious, Jamie asks Lizzie's opinion on the situation with Warren, stating that they find it all a little hard to believe, only for the Hun-Ho to reveal Shrooms from the Aether and has met gods before. Curiosity piqued once more, Jamie questions Lizzie about what the Aether is like, Lizzie answering as best Shroom can considering how long it's been since Shroom's been there. On the topic of Warren, Jamie asks if Lizzie has seen the crystals within the harbour yet, which the Hun-Ho hasn't despite Shroom's desire to study them. The two decide to visit the harbour together at some point, safety in numbers and all, so they can research the crystals and their magic together. As they speak, Estella makes herself at home in Lizzie's shop, prompting Jamie to introduce them as they attempt to get their familiar back downstairs, in what was probably one of the funniest moments of that entire stream. We love when animals go AWOL.
Yeah.
After some more talk of magic, Jamie decides to head back home, walking over the mountains to get back, only to turn and see someone watching them from the floating island. The purple gaze of Karma looks out towards the world, only to meet Jamie's eyes, spooking the witch before they continue their way back home. With so many unanswered questions lingering in their mind, Jamie can't help but feel uneasy and exhausted, deciding to rest as an ill feeling spreads through their stomach. With a final decision to work on potions for the rest of the day, Jamie makes a shaky note about their sighting of Karma before getting to work, still feeling very troubled. that was fun. That stream.
Crazy.
That Karma thing was unplanned because I think I was doing something with the Karma account that day.
Yeah.
And just decided I would loom and watch Jam as they went home because I thought it'd be funny.
Who knows?
And they noticed, so yay. And that might have spiraled into something more now because things that are done unintentionally end up becoming intentional because of hindsight. And because of my big brain plays, but who gives a shit?
For
Who gives
real.
a shit? Next stream
Flowers and
includes
Fire.
it includes the beloved Rose Thunder. I love Rose Thunder. Do you love Rose Thunder?
I love him so much.
I love him. I love him oh so much. Let's get
Me
some.
too.
Wait. Where? Give me a moment. 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 Where is it? 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 We pause. We pause because I need the funny. We pause because I need the funny.
Advertisements.
Is there an actual ad happening right now?
Nope.
But what if there was? What if we just played an ad right
You could do that.
I could do that, but I would not be that cruel. I'm gonna stop talking about ads, and then an ad is gonna start playing.
Yeah, we really it's gonna happen. I would know.
And then everyone will be sad.
Sounds like an L.
No, that's what you sound like.
Yeah, I know that's what I sound like.
That's what you sound like. I'm trying to find the funny picture, but I can't find the funny picture, and now I'm sad. Now I'm sad, El Pond Fairy. I can't find the funny picture of Rose Thunder killing Katie Cooper.
Oh my god, I remember.
Oh wait, no, I found it.
Yeah. Solid picture, in my opinion.
Okay, you can.
Okay. Flowers and Fire. Feeling concerned over Rose's lack of combat experience, Cersei heads to the sanctuary in search of the Vila, quickly finding them around the fish shop. The two enter conversation as Cersei brings up her new residence, which Rose eagerly invites himself to see. As Cersei doesn't complain. Making small talk as they head over, Rose offers to make Cersei a bridge to make crossing the water easier, stunning the ghast hybrid with a small gesture. Being from the Nether, she's not used to offers of kindness without condition or captures. Realizes the second time someone has offered her something whilst wanting nothing in return. Arriving at Cersei's home, she quickly introduces Rose to her therapy pig, Pan. As Rose is shown around, he admits how scared he's been ever since seeing Warren within the harbour, making the ghast hybrid extra concerned for him. Coming back around to Pan's Cersei offers to train Rose in combat, hoping to inspire the viewer to learn how to protect himself and those he cares about. Cersei admits she sees friendship as a weakness, but also says that it is important to become strong enough to fight and protect those they care about, promising to make Rose the best Vila warrior ever. During this conversation, Rose's perspective on fighting and weaponry changes, now seeing them as a form of protection rather than just aggression. Together, they test out some weapons, but quickly find Rose isn't suited for sword fighting, Cersei commenting that they don't really have the time for him to build up muscles for it. Instead, Cersei hands Rose a worn bow and some arrows and begins to teach them to shoot, finding the Vila to be far more at ease with the ranged weapons. Seeing Rose's happiness after hitting the target, Cersei realizes she had made a mistake, ushering Rose back to the sanctuary so she can think. As Rose disappears into the distance, Cersei grows frustrated, realizing she's come to care for the Vila. Attachments aren't good things, at least in her mind, and worries for Rose's inexperience and naivete, with a final thought of protecting Rose and ensuring he never has to face anything like she did. Cersei heads to bed for a fitful night's sleep.
Woo!
Ooh.
Oh, I hope people enjoyed me messing with the screenshots during that. We get a lot of really silly things that happen when no one is live on the server. Or just me putting Sonic memes down.
That's my favorite thing is when people try to, like, you see them dead in law and they slightly turn out of camera just so you don't choose, like, they're not there, guy.
My thing is when people decide to get back at me by not removing them when lore happens, and then I have to go remove them myself, and then I cry about it.
I love the Sonic
It's
memes.
Cute. It's cute. It's cute.
I remember the Arc 1 Sonic quotes memes.
Oh yeah, I used to just write those around people's houses. I mean, I work Sonic quotes into lore plenty of the time.
I
so,
know
like,
you have.
I'm just fun like that. I've done Sonic. I've done Fire Emblem. There's a lot of D&D references just because it's kind of the basis of everything. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings.
I've done Genshin. I've done
You've
Genshin and
done
Lord of the
Genshin.
Rings.
So can you
I've
fault
also done
me?
Star Wars.
How have you done Star Wars?
You don't know, but I've got Star Wars into the lore.
Oh my god.
I love myself.
Right.
You can't see it.
I mean, hey, I have yet to put Resident Evil into the lore, so maybe I'll do it at some point.
Could that be brought?
I mean, they've got magic in the universe. I'm sure they made a bioweapon or two at some point.
At least. Anyway,
igniting suspicion. Little sus, this one, little sus. Deciding to finally get a protection sigil for her house, mainly for Rose's comfort more than anything, Cersei makes her way over to the sanctuary with hopes of avoiding as many people as possible. Despite this desire, the ghast hybrid stumbles upon Jaime, who instantly begs not to be stabbed. Upon calming down and giving introductions, Jaime immediately begins to question Cersei, making her extremely agitated. Not enjoying being treated like an oddity, she refuses to tell the witch much, leaving her to speculate on Cersei's existence. Jaime watches as the ghast hybrid rants about how people see her as threatening just because she has a sword out, but the witch just nods along. Moving to a different yet still dangerous topic of conversation, the two begin talking about Warren and the barrier, with Jamie revealing that they have a family they need to return to. Cersei decides to ask some more about the witch's family and mother, curious if they could perform some magic for her since they are apparently so great at it, only for Jamie to refuse. Noticing something off in Jamie's mannerisms, Cersei questions if they're all right, deciding that the witch must be afraid of something. After giving them a lecture on fear and how hubris is the downfall of greatness, Jamie is eager to get Cersei to stop talking, distracting the Gas hybrid with talk of the harbour. This only partly succeeds, as while Cersei is intrigued, to the point of wanting to visit the harbour, they are more interested in pushing Jamie for more information on their life. As Jamie speaks some more about their family, they confess to not believing it's all it's cracked up to be, something Cersei heavily disagrees with. Some people would kill for a family, she tells Jamie, and they shouldn't be so ungrateful for theirs. Growing more and more agitated with Cersei's near-invasive questions about their life and constant criticism, Jamie insults the Ghast hybrid before walking off, not at all eager to see her again anytime soon. There we go. And now we get another one for you to read.
Yeet.
Now this is one of Honey, the lovely Honeyfly _case things. But because Honey's college, university situation, she's only been able to stream since she's been back home for holidays. So this is a video. I think any of the ones involving Honey until recently have been videos.
Yeah.
I do believe these are all in the video channel of the Mythrill Discord, though, hopefully.
They are, yes.
Yeah. And if they're not linked on the Mythrill YouTube, then I'll be linking them soon. I'll be sure to do that. I can try and do the funky little eye icon thing at this specific moment.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
How do you do a stream marker, chat? How do you do a stream marker?
There can be a button for it.
I don't have a button for it because I haven't set one.
Okay, I'll write it down. Don't worry. I'll write it down somewhere.
No way, I can do a slash marker. There we go.
I didn't know that.
Slash marker added Honey to the stream. There we go. Okay, but you can go with what goes unseen for us.
Another normal day in Honey's island home. Busying herself between construction by sorting through her barrels and organising her equipment, is quickly turned on its head as her mind slips away from her. Her actions aren't her actions. Her movements aren't under her control, becoming a hazy spectre in her own head. The sanctuary appears before her, all knowledge of how she got there gone, inconsequential, beyond her comprehension as her hands tear apart the earth. Honey? But is it really her? Plants cornflowers all around the sanctuary. The beautiful royal blue grace in its surrounding. Why wouldn't the inhabitants be happy with this new addition? They were wonderful. Around the water, between the buildings, within the planters, even up to the gazebo above. Cornflowers are planted in every crevice of the sanctuary. A perfect addition to the place, someone thought distantly in her mind. She couldn't help but agree. It's a sudden surprise when Honey's mind clears. Memories of the day gone like water through a sieve. The only indication of time passing being the night sky where it had once been morning. Confused, drained, and head full of static, Honey decides to head to bed. As she lays there, desperately trying to remember what happened that day, Honey clutches her arms. The rose wrapped around her prickle her fingers. Grounding her, she tries to sleep. A singular blue flower nestled among the rest. It's pretty crazy. Wonder what was going on.
Tee-hee, I wonder.
I don't know, man.
I like that one. It's great flavor text.
Me too. It is.
Beautiful. Beautiful, just like Honeyfly.
Real.
And now I get another long one.
Yeah.
Because I can't help writing.
Hey, but good news on
words.
this note. We're on the last few.
That is so true. And now we have a word to the wise, which is a lovely little stream.
with
Me when you're the wisest.
me and jam. We love jam. I love jam on my toast. Do you love jam?
I do.
We all love jam. We all love jam. Okay.
Having fallen asleep within the tea house, Jay awakes in a very confused state, having been transcribing the Sea Elf book that was returned to her a while ago. Stressed and in need of a break, especially with the crystals spreading around the harbour now, she chastises herself for falling asleep in a public area whilst also panicking about everything happening recently. Taking a moment to breathe, Jay is shocked to see Jamie enter the library, quickly composing herself before walking up to the witch. Wanting to learn more about the history of the valley, Jamie had hoped to do some quiet research within the library, but decides to take Jay up on their offer of answering questions. Together, they head upstairs to sit and drink tea whilst they talk, Jay looking for any way to distract herself from her earlier panic. Despite Jamie's many questions, Jay is happy to answer all of them to the best of her abilities, being the creature within the valley with the most knowledge on it after all of her research. Unfortunately, the Fae's answers only leave the witch with more questions. Turning to talk of the crystals within the harbour, Jamie is curious if their magic could be harnessed and used, trying not to sound too suspicious to the scholar. Whilst Jay explains it could be possible, she also shares that the magic in the crystals is very volatile and dangerous, comparing the feeling of it to being electrocuted. Even still, Jamie makes a note of the information for whenever they get to investigate the crystals themselves. As Jay had been sorting the Sea Elf book for Katie, Jem takes the opportunity to ask more about the witch's staff in her possession and the events that led Katie to acquire it, leading Jay to explain the events at Moonface Tower from a few months back. Interested in learning the tower was built upon Panky's old home, Jamie expresses interest in searching for the place for other magical items, hoping Jay believes when they say it's to ensure they don't fall into the wrong hands, and not just because they want them for themselves. With the mention of the love potion incident Panky was involved in, Jamie's left shocked and more interested than ever, wanting to know more about how Panky got their hands on the recipe for something so well protected and illegal. Jay begins to get a little panicked about the topic, saying that it was thanks to a demonic intervention the potion's victim was left without side effects, but does not reveal her involvement in the incident. Despite this, Jamie is quick to put two and two together, deciding to let the topic drop at the realization. As Jamie expresses an interest in searching Panky's place again, despite the knowledge the place is covered in blood vines and other dangers, Jay makes them promise to not go alone and to take them or Artemis for safety. Not knowing what could be left at Panky's or within the tower had Jay more on edge, especially with them still not knowing where Allura is. So she's thankful when Jamie agrees to talk with her should they decide to investigate in the future. Moving to more casual conversation, or as casual as the two studious magic users can get, Jamie suddenly begins to have a coughing fit. At Jay's concern, Jamie brushes it off as just a cold, the sanctuary being in a snowy mountain and all. Unable to convince Jay, Jamie thanks her for answering their questions and apologizes if any of them were invasive before trying to leave, only for the Fae to give them an ominous warning. Magic is not infinite. Just like water in a well, it will run dry without rain. It's best Jamie remember that. The warning catches Jamie off guard, and they quickly head home, exhaustion overwhelming their every movement, making them lightheaded and in their hurried retreat. Once home, Jamie slides to the floor, back against the door, as the sudden tiredness hits them all at once. They feel awful, more so than ever, and it pushes everything they had just learned to the back of their head. As they sit there, warning still ringing in their mind, the witch falls asleep with a weighted blanket of worry spread over them. Woo!
Woo! I wonder what that
Woo!
warning was about.
Woo!
Pretty
I
crazy
wonder.
that.
I do wonder sometimes. I wonder many a times.
It's so crazy, dude.
Anyway, now we
Um,
have mutual
Mutual
friends,
friend.
which is an Elle and Izzy stream.
It is. Yeah, I love Izzy. Oh,
I also love Izzy. Izzy's still a little guy.
for real it is. So I just had water as well.
Good job.
Okay. Wanting to speak with Jay, both Artemis and Izzy head to her office, only to bump into each other instead. Heading to the tea house to talk, Artemis grows concerned as they notice the abundance of cornflowers around the sanctuary. Having seemingly appeared out of nowhere, having heard about Izzy from Pfizer, Artemis is curious to get to know the hybrid better, deciding to ask her perspective on how the two met. As Izzy shares her story, having met Pfizer a few years ago after joining his travelling group, becoming closer than anyone else in the group before, Pfizer disappeared. The two slowly became friends, remembering something Pfizer had previously asked her to look into. Izzy questions it if Artemis is familiar with someone named Mars, wanting to update the warlock on how he's doing and for some reason the colour of his eyes. Taking the opportunity to explain what Allura had done, seen as Mars's eye changed colour due to her taking his soul, Artemis attempts to get a laugh out of Izzy by telling her how the Puka basically invited Pfizer on a date in exchange for his soul. The half-elf tells Izzy that Mars's eyes are no longer red, and that she makes a mental note to pass the information on to Pfizer the next time they speak. The two continue to talk for some time, Artemis giving a rundown of the valley's history and Izzy sharing some things about herself, including a mention of the hybrid wanting to get away from the hustle and bustle of the sanctuary. Before leaving the tea house, Artemis offers to help Izzy to find a more peaceful place to settle down, away from the chaos of the town. With that, the two leave for their own homes, a little closer than they were before.
Yay!
I love them.
I love this little screenshot. This is
No.
another out of canon moment when me and Mars went to go annoy Izzy while she was never at mining. My
I
little
love that.
fox boy, I love him. I love him so much.
I love how like with Solar just adopted using those out of canon.
I mean, yeah, you and Mars just kind of put them on. I think it's because you feel cute. And you're both ginger, so.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
I
you're
think
ginger. Mars is
I'm a-
just has brown hair that fits with this, but you're
yeah.
ginger.
I am
You're a
ginger.
little gingery guy.
I
Little
am.
gingery lad. We have two more.
Woo! And one of them's me.
And they're both fucking long.
Oh yeah. One of them is you're to blame. One of them I'm to blame.
Oh, I think we're always to blame.
I mean, do you want to do the very last one, yours? And I can do mine.
Yeah, we can. I was looking, Stories Untold is longer, but you know what? We can. We can. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
you can. Let me
Talking of
do.
the past.
Go ahead.
Deciding Artemis deserves an apology after her awful behaviour last they spoke, Cersei anxiously writes one with the intention of giving it to the half-elf, believing trying to apologise out loud will only cause more problems. As she arrives at the sanctuary, Cersei spots Artemis, having just left their tower after reading a letter from Loki. Attempting to reassure herself before approaching, Cersei eavesdrops as Artemis speaks with her particles chat, telling them how she believes Cersei deserves better than her. During their time together in the Nether, Artemis had seen Cersei as a trusted colleague and a beloved friend, but having met the gas hybrid again after so long, she realised that Cersei didn't see her the same. The half-elf expresses how undeserving she feels to her particles, how stupid she is for not realising the impact leaving would have on Cersei, and attempts to think of a way to talk with her about their different views on each other. Realising how wrong she had been seeing things, how hurtful and delusional she had been, Cersei runs away. Artemis spots Cersei as she leaves, having heard her feet pounded against the snow, but decides not to follow her. She doesn't know what Cersei heard, and doesn't want to make things any worse. She couldn't be what Cersei needed then, and she knows she can't now either. Left in the snow, Artemis sees Cersei's apology letter, feeling even worse after reading it. She feels bad for hurting her friend, if she can even still call Cersei that. Even though it was unintentional, she decides to let Cersei come to her when she's ready. Heading back to her room in Karma's temple, hoping she'll be able to make things up to the gas hybrid eventually. Meanwhile, Cersei heads to the Nether once more, using the hellish familiarity as she walks along the soul sand. As she walks and calms herself down, Cersei rethinks her relationship with Artemis, realizing just how little she knows about the half-elf. She regrets ever having gotten attached to them. The first nice person to enter her life, and after her father, but definitely not the last. Feeling foolish over everything, believing she was only a sword to Artemis and nothing more. Cersei looks to memories she knows were not just wishful thinking. The grave looms before her, bringing back everything she had been through after Artemis had left. As she looked upon her dearest friend's resting place, Cersei reminisces over their story, how they met and quickly grew close, how she believed him to be her soulmate. However, she was in it to protect him when it mattered the most. She had failed. Cersei looks to his grave and sobs, crystal tears persistent in the heat of the Nether, both mourning him and her relationship with Artemis. With that in mind, Cersei digs a hole next to the grave, burying an allium and her past with Artemis with it. It was unfair of her to see the half-elf as a mother figure, to take her kindness as proof of that relationship, realizing once again just how different things are in the overworld are to the Nether. Even still, Cersei hopes Artemis feels guilty. She hopes that when Artemis dies, she will have a real grave, that she understands just what she meant to Cersei. With what strength she has left, Cersei makes a grave for herself, passing out with screams of anguish upon her beloved's tomb.
Talk about angst, eh?
Yeah. I was losing my voice nearly, and I was
I could tell. It's okay, bestie. You don't have to do more talking. It's me time, bestie. It's a me and Izzy time, specifically. As we go to the last stream of October. Woo! And then I have to go and write like a million more of these, and then I can cry. Anyway.
Don't worry, we'll all
One
cry
day we'll
together.
catch up. One day. I might need help. We'll figure it out. Anyway. Too restless to sleep, nightmares haunting her every moment, Izzy leaves the attic of her woodshop for a walk. Splashing some water from the lake upon their face, the fox hybrid decides to check out the library, assuming no one will be there so late at night. Upon entering, however, Izzy is shocked to find Jay standing in the building's entrance, having been dropping off a new book. Interested in what has Izzy out so late, the Fae inquires as much, learning Izzy is interested in finding a book on hybrids. As she pulls some books from the shelves, Izzy admits to being curious if any other hybrids with traits more than one animal exist, herself having fox ears and tail, but also deer antlers. Scholar agrees that it is an odd and undocumented occurrence, asking Izzy some questions about their family, hoping to gain some insight on their reasonings, only to find the hybrid was adopted by some humans in the Eastern Providence. With no other information to go off of, Jay invites Izzy to her office and offers to read the hybrid's soul for answers, which Izzy agrees to. As they head up to the Sky Islands, Jay questions if Izzy had noticed anyone planting the cornflowers, confusing the hybrid with the randomness before Jay explains her worries. Seeing as cornflowers are most commonly seen around Warren's crystals and have been a past indication of his presence, it is obvious why they have the face so on edge, something Izzy agrees with once learning. Once in the office, Jay explains how she'll be using her magic, adding that she tries to ask permission before looking too deeply into a person's soul. With everything explained, Jay sets to work searching with her magic concerning Izzy as she verbally reacts to what she finds. With a heavy heart, Jay tells Izzy her findings. The antlers aren't natural, but a part of a curse. At first, Izzy believes the Fae is joking, but as Jay is unable to lie, she realizes it must be true. Concern rising, Izzy begins to question everything. When was she cursed? Why? How? And Jay attempts to calm her down as best she can. Going back to the fox hybrids questions, Jay reveals the curse has been there for a long time, almost as old as Izzy herself is, assuring Izzy it was unlikely she had done anything to deserve the curse, especially if it was placed upon them as a baby. She begins to think of a few theories. As Izzy has no knowledge or memory of her birth parents, Jay guesses that they might have done something to cause the curse, possibly abandoning her because of it. She believes they were unable to live with a reminder of their wrongdoings, whatever they were, and gave Izzy up to avoid the consequences of their actions. With her questions answered and many more questions, Izzy thanks Jay for their help. Taking the opportunity, Jay decides to ask Izzy about Fizuk, wondering if they've seen each other recently, only for Izzy to admit he's alone and running out of patience. They talk about Warren, how last time he sought to destroy the valley he didn't wait, and agree that he must be waiting for something. Theorizing about Fizuk's sword, they both can't help but think it's not linked to Warren, despite the place the warlock found it in. Even still, they can't figure out its origins or purpose, Jay growing frustrated over how little use her magic is becoming. With Fizuk fresh in her mind, Jay admits to being worried over seeing him again, what with his connection to Warren and all. Izzy instantly gets defensive, asking if Jay is implying Fizuk is dangerous, only to be gently corrected. It's his connection to Warren that Jay sees as dangerous, not so much Fizuk himself. Though it's what Jay truly believes, she doesn't share all her thoughts with Izzy, not wanting to upset the hybrid any more than she already is. Mentioning how all of Fizuk's windows were broken last Izzy had been there, Jay is quick to point fingers at Lilith, knowing of the half-demon's hatred towards the warlock. Faye gives Izzy some books that might interest Fizuk, hoping she can deliver them to him whenever they next meet, knowing Fizuk can't enter the sanctuary due to his connection with Warren's magic. Izzy questions if the cornflowers could be a sign of the god's magic seeping into the sanctuary, but Jay is adamant that it's not the case. They'd know if the protections were failing, so the flowers must have been placed by someone. She hopes it's all just a well-intentioned mistake. With the mention of protections, Izzy admits to having never taken a protection sigil, and wanting to isolate Fizuk more than he already is. Understanding the hybrid's predicament, even more so after reading their souls, Jay offers another solution to her, an amethyst crystal. With some quick enchantments, Jay tells Izzy that should she shatter the crystal, the Fae will know. If Izzy is in any danger, all she has to do is break it, and Jay will be there to help. As the night goes on, Izzy decides it's time to try and get some rest. Jay recommends she grabs some chamomile tea to help with the restlessness, allowing Izzy to leave with a promise of the drink being on the house. As she leaves the office, Izzy takes the Fae up on her offer and goes to the tea house before heading home, willing to give sleeping another go. Meanwhile, Jay stares at the stars from her office, wanting to trust in Fizuk but unable to. She realizes he is the key, the one real lead they have to stopping Warren, and worries over how willing he'll be to help them. With a plan in her mind, Jay sets back to work, hoping nothing bad comes of Izzy's future meetings with Warren's warlock.
Oh my god. That's pretty crazy.
Oh my god, that's so much lore, that's so much
That has been
lore.
28 lore streams.
Oh my goodness. My brain is melted.
Yeah. I think we could all say that with
We be dead like Kitty Gober in front of Chad Chilzo Wither.
Churchills.
Chad Chilzo Wither, our beloved.
Churchills or Wither doesn't exist, guys.
I'm
He
getting
can't
a
hurt you.
headache from that. I'm gonna be real.
That's so real. It's like it's a lot of writing. It's a lot of looking at a screen as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I should have gotten my blue light glasses out for this, to be honest.
I can't wear blue light glasses, so I have a filter on my PC.
I have a filter as well, but I got glasses as well because I can have them. Teehee.
I can't. I'm just too blind.
Oh no.
That's when my problems lie, guys.
Yeah, next Mythrill Monthly will probably be the end of next month, considering I have about 25 catch-ups to do?
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly that, and then there's been 11 in December, despite it meant to have been an off month, so, truthfully, if I can manage to get December ones done, we might try and lump them together.
Yeah.
But if not, then well, we'll just have to wait and see. People sit on their glasses. I don't. Why would they be on your chair?
You
Why
take
would you
them
have them?
off.
Yeah, I mean, I get
We don't
that.
we don't
but
shower in our glasses,
I know
guys. We take them off at times.
I know you take them off, but why would you put them on your chair and not check before sitting on them? That seems
I
a little
don't.
silly. Oh,
I
you
don't, you
just sit on
see.
your glasses.
I put my glasses on my desk.
You should put your
So
glasses on your cat. I think that would be cute.
I have done. He looks adorable.
Aww.
He also takes my glasses off my face. So
Aww. Try to think if there's anything else. As always, if chat wants to ask any questions about current stuff going on with the server, we're always happy to ask. I guess since we are here and we are live, tomorrow, the 28th of December, we have a me lore stream with the lovely Charlie Swan. And then later in the day, I believe there is a Rose and Cersei lore stream.
yeah.
And then
There
I
is.
want to say that's all the lore that's happening till the new year. I think.
That is.
Yes. That's
There's
all the
no
lore
more
happening
planned
till the
right
new
now.
year. We will be having a Mythrill SMP pub quiz on the server on the 29th, this Friday. Where we're going to be putting the members who show up into teams and asking them questions about the server. They'll all get points, and we need to think of a reward for that, L.
My love and affection.
It's got to be more than that, unfortunately.
Yeah, people already get that.
monetize your love and affection, unfortunately.
I can't when I give it to everybody practically already.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, we're gonna have a nice little pub quiz that me and Elle are going to be hosting. Because honestly, if we were on a team, we would win hands down. Because we just know too much. Because
we also kind of wrote the pub quiz.
I mean, okay, I wrote the pub quiz and I went, "Hey Elle, does this look good?" And you went, "Yeah, that looks good." And we went, "Yeah."
And we went, "Yeah, pretty solid, I think."
But yeah, Elle's gonna be doing checks of members for that tomorrow to confirm who is showing up. I don't think.
Yeah. So if you get messages from me tomorrow,
Yeah, I don't.
you know
I
why.
don't think I'm gonna be streaming it because I'm hosting it, and I don't want people to cheat. But if none of the people playing are gonna stream it, then I might. We'll see who is down to do a pub quiz stream. Aside from that, I guess that's the end of the swing. Yeah, again, one last. If people want to ask little questions about the server before we go off, I can talk about one other thing. That being the aforementioned playlists, which you can put in chatter again, Al. Both of them because we love them. We also had some music changes. Mainly because I went, I want to change stuff. So it's Karma and Allura. Karma's got a new song called Good Guy by Against the Current because I've been obsessing over them. Celine got Play with Fire, which played earlier on the stream, which is very, very fun because I thought it made quite a lot of sense, for them as a person. And then my character got Blindfolded, also by Against the Current, but we changed that a little bit ago. These aren't being added to their stuff. These are just replacing previous songs they had. But yeah, those are basically things. And we'll be getting the more new members' songs added soon.
Yeah, because I changed my songs as well.
Oh, you changed some of your songs? What songs did you change?
I think I changed 2 of them. I had Lost already because I made one for Arc 1, 2, and 3 song.
Yeah.
I have Farewell Wonderlust now and Ink Pot Gods, both by the Amazing Devil.
We do enjoy the Amazing Devil.
I do.
We do. We very much do. Yes. Yeah, I do think that is everything. Let's see.
So.
I don't believe any Mythrill members are live right now, unfortunately.
They are not.
They are not. They are not. It's
a sad day.
It's a slow day for the Mythrill SMPers. I mean, the Americans will probably be live later, but you know, we don't wait for
Imagine
the
being
Americans.
American.
We don't wait
No.
for the Americans. We wait for no one. We wait for no one. That is.
I wait
that
for
is
you,
the
and
truth.
that's it.
I wait for myself to finish the lore catch-ups, and I lose my mind.
You're doing great.
I cry about it, Al. I don't actually cry about it, but I look at what I have to write and I go, oh no. I guess take this as a reminder to people who are in chat who I know haven't done their notes for their lore recently to fucking do it.
That, or you'll get a message from me going, "Hey,
I've
can you do your notes,
I've got
please?"
2 sticky notes worth of notes. Elle, you're on it many times.
Oh, I know I am.
And so is Jam, and so is Lizzie.
Yeah.
And
I know who's
Katie.
there.
No pressure, honestly, because it's gonna take me a while to get through them all. So I'll bug people when I get there. But
Yeah, because
a reminder,
I was
because it
waiting.
makes life easier to have them.
Yeah, because I was waiting for my stuff to be finished, and then Christmas happened.
That's
so.
fair. That's fair. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about it. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing, guys.
Unlike everyone else, my timeline's finished. So.
But yeah,
I
with
have to
that,
figure
that's the
anything
end
else.
of the stream. So we're gonna go to the end screen so you guys can vibe to the music. Final thanks to Elle for being my co-host, for Sky for making our intro and outro song, which I just call rats, I guess, at this point. You can check out all the custom Mythrill music they've made on their YouTube. Big thank you to Marsarcy for making my PNGtuber and Elle's PNGtuber. Mars does have commissions open now, but they're only for friends and mutuals. So if you are a friend or a mutual, reach out to Mars for a commission because he is so talented and deserves money to be thrown at him. And lastly, thank the lovely Kaloy for making our background. Kaloy also does commissions, so you can check them on Twitter. Kaloy does some really amazing stuff. They do beautiful animatics, beautiful animated backgrounds, starting soon screens, all of the works, a lot of stuff they've done for Magic Sings and many other amazing talented people. So go check out all of them. They're wonderful. They're amazing. We love them. Check out Elle's Twitch as well, because Elle, I mean, you're not doing much Mythrill lore at the moment, but
No, I be in other people's. Live a little
you
brook.
do be NPCing it right now. But
I do.
yeah,
I do be on the
all
server still, though.
That's all that you do be. You are still a member, and we love you for that. But yeah, that will be the end of the stream for today. I'll say bye bye to the VOD heads who are watching this on YouTube.
Bye,
And
VOD.
remember everyone to join the Mythrill Discord if you haven't already to keep up with everything. We'll see you all later. Bye bye.
Bye.